landlubbers. It's me, your Captain Vasco, and I'm very sad. I wanna try to impart upon you how bad my life is right now. And like let's start by prefacing that like these are all relatively first world problems. I didn't get in an accident. Nobody died. Well, nobody close to me died. David McCallum died. That made me sad. You would only know David McCallum from one of two things. If you've ever seen NCIS, or if you are me, when your dad got a box set of Man from U.N.C.L.E. and you watched most of it over like the course of a summer. But he was, I don't know, he's a good actor. He seemed like a cool guy. But that did make me sad. But like, I just, like, work's been awful. My department head has just decided that I need to be micromanaged, which is so insane to me that, like, I'm not even going to go into it, or we're not going to stream any game. Like, I'll just go on and on and on about how little sense that makes, and how incredibly frustrating it is that the degree to which I'm being micromanaged is actually making the problem that the micromanagement seeks to solve worse. Like, my boss gave me a ton of busy work in the middle of the month, and it, like, set me back on all the stuff I'm trying to do in the course of my job normally. And now she's all like, how come you're, like, behind on stuff? Let me micromanage you. And it's like, no. Literally every time you try to help, you are making it significantly worse. If you would just stop, I will take care of it. I know how to do my job. Please leave. But, like, it's basically been, like, 3 weeks of just, like, descending into madness because of this. Like, and I want to be clear, like, yeah, it's annoying that it, like, insults my intelligence for my boss to micromanage me at all, but, like, the thing that's most frustrating is, like, if you didn't do it, there would be no problem. You are creating your own problem. You've created a self-fulfilling prophecy, and everyone suffers as a result of it. But especially you, because it's accomplishing the antithesis of the thing you're trying to get done. But, like, it's been relentless. Like, I've never in my life been micromanaged for this long to this degree. I've had it at various jobs to varying degrees, even at this job. And this job probably overall is the worst about that. But, like, it's unreal. It's unbelievable. And it saps all the life force out of me. Like, it's just, I'm, like, constantly just dealing with the stress of my boss, like, clearly, like, exhibiting to me that she thinks I'm, like, not doing my job, which is just a personal trigger for me. Because if you know anything about me and my work ethic, and the fact that I'm even streaming right now should also be an indicator of this. Like, I take my work seriously. If I commit to work, it will get done, and it will get done to the best of my ability. Just absolutely full stop. No other anything else. And so, like, it's just been, like, just nothing but, like, triggers and stress, and my boss, like, giving me work that's, like, not important, and then, like, making it my top priority, and then being mad that I haven't done things that aren't the top priority she assigned me. And then, like, this afternoon, she like, wanted to call me out for, like, not doing something, and I'm like, you specifically directly told me not to do anything with it. And then she's like, oh yeah, I did that. Okay, keep doing nothing. And it's like, but you did that. You did it. That's not even like my judgment call where I have to defend it. You were like, don't do anything. And then you got mad at me about it. It's been like this for so long. But this isn't an interesting story. I'm just trying to give you a sense of where I'm at. But the real thing that I want to say about this is, the real indicator of how bad today is, at the end of, like, week 3 of just this happening all the time, is that today I learned some incredibly exciting news. And my emotional state is basically like, just run me over with a bulldozer. And this is exciting to no one but me. But I talk about my taste in music sometimes, and I even recently talked about how excited I was that the S Club, a British pop band who I've loved since, like, high school, is, like, touring the US for, like, the first time ever, and they're, like, coming to town at the start of November. I'm so excited about that. And, like, there are maybe, like, 3 other, like, bands in the world that I care enough about that I'd be, like, specifically excited to go see their show. And, like, basically none of them is in the US, because that's my taste in music. But it turns out that another one of those 3 other bands is coming to Los Angeles at the start of December. Confidence Man, an Australian band that mostly tours in the UK. And I'm really excited about that. But the tickets don't go on sale till Tuesday, so good luck to me. But, like, that's so exciting, and I still want to die. Alright, that's my rant. Also, welcome. A few people came in there. Hey, Castle. Hey, Jakey. Hey, a bunch of people. Hi, everyone. I'm actually really surprised to see someone who I didn't already know was, like, an S-Club fan in chat. But yeah, man, I used to watch that stuff on Fox Family back when it was Fox Family and all that stuff. Anyway, Raincoat. I'm not specifically stalling for time, but I have no idea if this will take an entire stream. Because, as we discussed last week, I think the thing that makes the most sense is we're going to put Raincoat on a little bit of a hold. I mean, I think it sounds like a few people would like a little break from the game. I'm not going to lie. I think that's an entirely defensible position. This new chapter we start is, like, medium at best. At least what we've seen so far. But also, starting in just a couple days is officially October. And so I think it makes sense to do some more specifically spooky stuff. And then we'll come back to this probably around the time that S-Club is in town. So yeah, last time we picked up from our submarine base was exploded with a missile, and then we woke up in the penthouse of a weird masked man who's probably our evil twin or our good twin. I don't know. And then we like went to see the remnants of the exploded submarine base, and then we got abducted by the resistance fighters, people who oppose the corporation Amaterasu Corp that like runs the Kanai Ward, which is where like the whole game takes place. And then they tried to like convince us that we like had to join the resistance, and we were like, all my friends are dead. Maybe I really gotta go check on that, and like I have other stuff to do. I have a job. I'm a detective, kind of. And then they were like, all right, well, could you at least put spy cameras and telephone booths? And we're like, yeah, fine, I guess. And then we started doing that, and we did a bunch of side quests, and like one of them was that we found a cult that believes that someday the rain will turn red and that will lead us to the promised land. So that's like only majorly ominous and whatever. Oh, Jake, you got another, like, out-of-town band touring the U.S.? Daddy Freyer. I don't think I've heard of them. What genre is that? If it's not wubs and oonces, I probably don't know them. But I like a lot of European music. Like Flavor Trip, which I talked about, I think, last week. I made Tech listen to them. He had really strong opinions that weren't what I thought they would be. Alright, let's play a video game. Let's specifically play Raincoat, I guess. So yeah, we're kind of just in the midst of, like, doing the placing secret cameras and doing side quests, so, like, the recap brought us up to date. I just got sidetracked. Gumshoe Gap, that's the thing we're doing if we find our endpoint for the stream early. Because we've only ever done one of those, and I've been collecting as many shards as I can manage. That's such a great observation. Deco says, what were Tech's opinions? I always miss hearing his opinions on things. His opinions on Flavor Trip reminded me of how one of the best things about being Tech's friend is his reactions to things. Mostly he was mystified by the thing that they were cooking in the particular playlist that he brought up, which was whatever was uploaded this week. I kind of just have been going randomly through whatever YouTube suggests. I haven't had all that much time to go through that many of them, but I still recommend Flavor Trip. I did watch a Flavor Trip playlist this week where, like, halfway through, the dude just, like, they're like, out in the countryside by, like, a creek, and then the guy of the couple, like, at one point just, like, wanders up to the water and like picks up a jar covered in mud and like just like hams it up spectacularly. Then he like opens the jar and pulls out a note and holds it up to the camera that's recording them. And the note says something like, "Hello, it's the year like 2047 and I'm listening to the greatest band ever, their Flavor Trip. They're DJing a set on Mars. I hear these guys are from Earth. In order to get into the show, you have to have enough like love points, so they'll like scan your wristband or something." I'm like, there's like a whole lot of lore to this like unspoken fake SOS note. Like, I don't know what this is, but like somehow it's completely on theme for the group, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? But yeah, I think Tech also had the opinion of like DJs are weird, and I pressed him for why, because I keep hearing people say that to me recently, and it's starting to like weird me out that everyone in the year 2023 has this super hot take. Sounds like Bill and Ted nonsense of fame. Yeah, like, yeah, kinda like that.
What is it? Did you see something cool?
What are we reacting to?
No, I thought I saw Chief Yako, but it was someone else.
Your grief over the late Fuzzhead has got you hallucinating. Poor Master.
I don't actually remember. Oh, we're going to the cafe. That's right, because like someone in the last stream, we were just like randomly talking to some person on the side of the street, like unrelated to the side quest or anything.
District. I wonder if Halara is there.
And the guy was randomly like, I think he like.
Halara? You're gonna lose all your money again.
I don't like the I don't advance them self-progressing things. It's a personal thing. But like there was just a guy who was like, "Oh, I'm so like mad at my coworkers. I'm going to take the day off. Maybe I can go to the cafe in Ginma district. I hear there's a hot barista there." And I'm like, "Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me." This Jakey says, I got a woman on TikTok who takes alcoholic drink requests to try the most disgusting drink ever. Whiskey, milk, and soy sauce. Now, I don't drink alcohol. That does sound really bad. Have you tried that, Jakey? How would you describe that drink? And also, what would you call that drink?
Come on, over here! You're really getting good at being an errand boy. In fact, I think you're a pro now.
I just need a hunter rank, or like an errand. Oh, hang on.
What's going on? There are tons of customers. It wasn't this crowded last time I was here.
Maybe they got some new dessert people can't help but snap photos of. Humans love lining up for stuff like that.
Now, I know I've already done precious little gameplay in the half hour I've been live, but, I think it's really funny when games do stuff like this. Wow, there's a huge crowd here. 3 people in line. Like, oh, I mean, okay. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, we haven't even, like, filled up the tables that I can see from where I'm standing, so it's like, it's not like we're at capacity.
But only men are lining up. Anyway, this is a bad time to set up a camera.
Oh, no.
Servan, I'm at the location, but the cafe is extremely crowded.
I want to avoid any prying eyes. Is there something you can do about it?
That seems like an odd request. What sort of thing? What sort of thing do you think I would do about it? I appreciate that, Deco, that you had a greater appreciation for DJs after I answered your question. And to be clear, like, I know that you were one of the people who asked me that, but, like, I feel like you asked it in the most respectful way of the, like, 3 people who have said that about DJs to me in the past, like, calendar month. And I'm like... just like, why does that keep happening all of a sudden?
What do you mean?
I want you to set up a surveillance camera at the cafe's bus stop so we can view the main street. Call me back once you figure out how to make it happen. Counting on you.
I mean, there's no one there. I could just do it right now.
Wait! Eon, what now? What does he expect me to do?
How about we boom kill everyone?
How about we don't?
Then what? You want to wait until all the customers go home?
Anyway, let's look inside the cafe for now and see just how crowded it actually is.
I genuinely don't understand. He's like, I want the camera in the bus stop. We're like, but the cafe is too crowded. These are like unrelated incidents.
It's jam-packed in here. This'll take a while.
There are like several empty seats and tables.
For my coffee?
Coffee over here too?
Sure! Coming right up!
Kabuki Clockford!
Oh? Yuma?
Wait, she didn't lose her memory or anything? She just got a job at the cafe? I
You
feel like
must
she's
be
even
here to
taller
try
than
some
last
of my
time.
coffee.
No, that's not. None of that's true. It's just not true.
No, not coffee. You're okay.
How dare you be alright too, Yuma?
I don't know how to interpret that. What emotion is that? How dare you be alright? With a big smile.
What? Anyway, I'm just glad you're alive, Fubuki.
Just says winky frown. What does that even mean?
I am grateful you were born as well, Yuma. I ought to thank your parents.
Fubuki, I know that you're kind of weird, but I'm seriously worried you might not be okay after that torpedo.
Excuse me? Where's my coffee?
Do you also like that she's levitating the coffee? Like, she's not, like, bracing it with the one hand like you might expect. It's clearly fully beneath the coffee pot she's holding.
Right. Coming right up.
I'm glad Fubuki's alright, but I don't even know where to start with her.
Seems that sheltered skank is tough to kill. I wouldn't mind if she died.
Why do you keep saying stuff like that?
I just hate airheads. Only losers find girls like her attractive.
Hey, here's a professional tip from me, some lousy white guy in the world of Earth. It's, like, really not great to judge all women, like, solely by their usefulness as, like, a romantic/life partner. And especially as, like, a woman, I feel like you're doing a disservice to just everything to continually behave in this way.
Fubuki? What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, like, the more we see of Shinigami, the less likable she is. Which is a shame, because, like, the stuff that's, like, fun about her personality could be the basis of, like, a really fun, like, invisible partner character for this type of game, which for some reason has that sort of thing frequently. But, like, man, she sucks, like, pretty bad, huh? Like, she's definitely the sort of person who you would be uncomfortable being friends with in real life. And not because of, like, the fan service stuff, which is the reason I might expect that to be true. Mika says the coffee pot is piping hot. She'll burn her hand if she makes contact. The hand is just there to keep her steady. But, like, that doesn't seem to make sense to me. Like, I feel like you would want, like, a towel or, like, even, like, a pot holder or something if it was that hot. Especially if you're just gonna, like, stand there with it. What?
I am fencing coffee. Everyone says it is delicious.
I mean, for B, they're definitely lying because they're into the whole fan service thing. And A, fencing is an odd choice of word.
Fencing?
I have never worked in a place like this before. It is rather exciting.
Now, here's what's interesting to me about Fubuki version 2.0. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm fairly certain that she didn't have multicolored hair glitter textures in the direction toward her flower. Thing B, I'm less certain of this, but I also feel like she didn't have, like, the raindrop tattoos.
I have always had an interest in waiting tables. I feel as though I am blossoming with a talent I never knew I had.
Man, it's pretty effective that Fubuki is the one having this existential crisis, because, like, I think literally any other member of our team, I would immediately be able to identify whether I needed to worry about them or not. And I feel like I should worry about Fubuki, but I do not know, because she's so weird that, like, this could just be Tuesday. It really could. It's in fencing when you sell something that fell off the back of a truck. More or less. Yeah, like, fencing is typically like the brokering of a sale of an illegal or illicit good. Sometimes stolen, sometimes just illegal. I don't know how close that is to the dictionary definition, but that's roughly how I define it. So that means she shanked some fool since you last saw her? I mean, like, yes, probably. But also, I think I'd kind of expect that from Fubuki, like, anyway.
Are you actually working here?
Yes, I am an adventurer detective coffee fencer.
Yeah, that might as well be true. Interesting that her character portrait definitely has her other outfit still, though.
Where do I even start?
See? This is why I hate airheads.
I gotta be honest, I think I know someone who's reasonably close to Fubuki in personality. And, like, I feel like it would do a disservice to that person to judge them simply by the fact that they're a little like Fubuki. They're, like, a super cool person. And they're fun to hang out with. And, like, they're not gonna solve world hunger or nothing, but, like, the world requires lots of different types of people.
Anyway, how did you survive that explosion?
That is a maiden secret.
Huh? Okay. What about the other master detectives? And Chief Yako? Is everyone alright?
I like that he distinguished Chief Yako as though he's not a master. I guess he... Did he say he doesn't have a power? It's been long enough, I don't remember. I think that's true. When I thought about it a little more, I think that came up during the very long introductory thing.
Unfortunately, I have yet to see anyone since the explosion.
Okay, that answers an unasked question of
I
mine.
figured someone would appear if I waited at this cafe.
Why would that... Okay.
But perhaps everyone died. My deepest condolences.
Listen. I'm not sure I want to be best friends with Fubuki. That does sound kind of exhausting. But do you not want to be friends with Fubuki? I strongly enjoy Fubuki as a character. She's among my favorites in this game so far. Actually, on that note, who wants to hear another insane thing? Have we had our fill of insane things yet today? Earlier this week, the Spike Chunsoft Twitter account, which is like the publisher of this game. I get developers and publishers confused more often than I like to admit. They posted like a happy birthday message for, what is the character's name? Like Mayumi Goldmine? Something like that? Like one of the master detectives that you meet on the train, like coming into Kanai Ward, the train upon which, and I can't stress this enough, every other living character died at the start of the game. And they were like, yeah, happy birthday to that character. I'm like, I have a number of problems with that. I mean, I know you're not out here trying to spoil anything, but all those characters died. I know you put them in the marketing, but they all died, like, immediately. Number two, she's barely in the game. Why does she have, like, an established birthday? Three, why are we celebrating the birthday of a character we killed immediately?
No! Everyone must still be alive! Come to think of it, waiting at this cafe instead of blindly searching is a good approach.
Is it?
Lara often visits here.
Sure, maybe.
That being said, I felt bad just idly sitting around, so I started working.
You're not wrong about that, Castle. Because it's a Japanese game, I'm sure she does have an established blood type. It does remind me, though, I also today saw a tweet where someone was, like, talking about One Piece characters from the anime One Piece. And, like, they had a screenshot of Ichiro Oda, like, answering, like, mailbag questions in like, some issue of Shonen Jump or something. And, like, multiple questions in a row were, like, asking if he could establish a character's birthday as a specific date based on, like, the sound of their name or something. And, like, the thing I enjoyed about it was, like, the first one, he was like, the answer was literally just, sure. And then the second one was like, sure, whatever. That's the last question I'm answering today, and that's a weird note to leave it on, or something like that. And I was like, yeah, this guy deals with fans. And then, like, I briefly went down, like, one layer of the rabbit hole. I was like, how many established One Piece birthdays are there? And, like, if you look it up, there's, like, a Wikipedia page somewhere that's just, like, a bunch of, like, mugshots of characters, and, like, it just has them all, like, outlined on, like, a annual calendar to point out where everyone's birthday is.
And as a result, we were reunited. Mission accomplished.
Yes, mission accomplished. What's the second step? I know the third step's profit, but the second one's always tricky.
I see. I'm starting to understand the situation.
I probably do as well as I'm going to, which isn't very much.
However, ever since I started working, the number of customers has steadily risen. I was beginning to mentally prepare myself to settle here, from the cradle to the grave.
That's not an expression I hear used very often, but I will say that I'm almost certain you're using it wrong.
Ah, so all the customers here are after Fubuki.
Jakey says, as an avid anime watcher, I don't care if they have a birthday. That's entirely fair. I think it's a cultural thing. I mean, like like Castle said, they also have a blood type, for sure. And, like, that's always, like, a really... Because at least in Japan, and, like, I don't know, I have a feeling it may be just, like, more of, like, an Eastern culture thing in general, but, like, aren't blood types, like, almost associated with, like, astrology-like predictions of, like, personality type and stuff? It's just, like... I don't know, it's just something that's, like, of more interest. So, like, I understand that I will not care nearly as much as they do, but I just thought that was funny. Particularly, like, hey, can Shanks' birthday be, like, March 9th? Sure, whatever.
Every single one of them has ulterior motives.
Say, Yuma, what brought you here?
Two things. Firstly, I think they all have the same singular ulterior motive. And secondly, I came here to install spy cameras. I'm not entirely certain whether it's related to you being here.
Well, it's a long story.
I do appreciate the narrative conceit of, like, it's implied that I told her everything that she needs to know.
And that's what happened.
Hey, remember how when we walked in here, like, a bunch of people asked for refills on coffee? And even if we set aside the fact that I keep stopping to talk to you instead of play the game, we just had that whole conversation and no one got coffee.
Wait, she's gone?
How would you not notice that? You were talking directly to her. It's not like some weird situation where you, like, turned your back for dramatic effect and you turned back and Batman was gone. Why? How did you lose track of her? While you were making eye contact with her?
Yuma, sorry to keep you waiting. I must procure more coffee.
You know what? That's fair. That addresses my concern to some extent. It gives me a new concern that my character, who's a master detective in training, is really incompetent.
Procure? Aren't you brewing it here?
I order coffee from the hotel restaurant and get them to brew it.
Weird how they're talking about secret detective things in the middle of a crowded coffee shop. I mean, weird on the one hand, but on the other hand, this does explain how you end up getting your submarine base exploded by a torpedo.
Wait, you're just serving coffee from the hotel?
Correct.
But this was already an established coffee shop. How can that be true?
I see. So that's why she calls it fencing. This is crazy.
Fencing is probably still an overstatement, but yeah, you know, sure.
So, what are you doing here again, Yuma?
Ah, very good.
As I was saying, some people asked me to take on a job, so I'm working on that right now. Speaking of Fubuki, will you help me? I need you to move the customers away from the front of the cafe.
Oh? Using violence?
Chat refuses to back my play on this, but I insist that I would like to be friends with Fubuki Clockford.
Some other way.
I could try violence.
Very well. Leave it to me.
Was asking for her help really a good idea?
I mean, whatever's about to happen is probably going to be pretty fun.
I highly doubt it.
Everyone, there's a cafe just across the way that serves even better coffee.
That's not going to work, right?
This way. Follow
Also,
me.
it's just really confusing. Well, I guess if she leads them, they're like lemmings. But what a ridiculously contrived thing to do. Why not? You said you'd be friends with her over Shinigami. Neko, you have to realize that that's a bar that basically doesn't exist at this point. We've established that.
Hey, that actually worked. Alright, now's my chance to set up the camera. Better get to the bus stop.
Better get to
Now's
the
the
bus
best
stop.
time to set up the camera at the bus stop. Whew, that should do it.
It's a
Only two
terrible
left.
place for that.
Yuma, how did it go?
She changed out of her work clothes. I don't know what that means.
Perfectly.
Splendid. We work well together.
That you could, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we would make great partners.
What? Was that a marriage proposal?
What?
So
no,
stupid.
I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, right. My apologies. I lost my composure.
But hey, like, we could hold hands later if you want. What if we held hands while solving a murder?
Phew. I almost became an adventurer detective wife.
What about the coffee fencing? Have you completely given up on that already?
Master has already sworn his life to another.
I'm not clear if the details of the contract cover that.
I'm getting a headache.
We got a big slice of pizza coming, Jakey? That's exciting. Once a week I have, like a pizza day. And I always look forward to it, even if the pizza doesn't end up being that good.
Well, since we have reunited, I will help you with your work, Yuma.
Are you sure?
I am better fit for adventuring than waiting tables. You and I are now partners. You can rely on me.
Thank you.
No need to be strangers. You can speak to me with phrases full of slang like we are old chums.
Thanks, Fubuki, very much.
After all, we are the last two survivors.
Listen, everyone has to be alive.
I don't know why he's so insistent about that. Kind of pizza and what day is pizza day? Pizza day is flexible because pizza day is typically suited to a day when I don't have certain other tasks that tend to happen on a roughly weekly basis. I usually just have like a DiGiorno freezer pizza, and I have it all to myself, which is not good, but I do it anyway.
I got the video feed from the second camera a bit ago. This is going great. Seems like Shachi was right about you, Detective.
Hate that voice
The
modulation.
third location is in Kamasaki District. Set it on top of the vending machine near the hotel. I'm
Okay.
counting on you.
Next is Kamasaki District.
I'm tired of these errands. Where can we find more corpses?
I'm really hoping that the fourth camera we place is like, put it on top of that corpse on, like, Library Street.
Maybe a corpse in a kimono hung upside down, or corpses with their heads swapped.
You shouldn't joke about that. It could actually happen in this city.
Yuma, are you talking to an invisible person?
Huh?
I feel like she's maybe the only character in the game who's actually picked up on that.
Did she notice me?
Notice me,
I
senpai.
heard it just now. A creepy man's voice talking about a camera.
Ah, GG game, GG.
Oh, you mean this? It's a transceiver. The voice is my client. I'm receiving instructions through it.
Oh, is that so? Apologies for my ignorance.
That sure freaked me out. I thought she heard my voice.
I have lived inside a mansion since I was young, and know little about the ways of the world. I am so naive that the servants call me Dummy Thick behind my back.
There's no words, just emotion expressed as noises. Stupid. I don't know. I feel like Chat's been very. I mean, look, I want to see a Vivia Twilight case as much as the next guy, but I've been most excited about Fubuki Clockford, and I am not at all disappointed. We've been hanging out with Fubuki for like 20 minutes, and she's had like most of the best lines in the game. Yeah, this is probably the thumbnail. You're right about that. I'm sure it's somewhere I could grab an expression of me having an emotional breakdown in response to that, and it'll work.
I don't think that's what they meant. Anyway, it's never too late to learn new things.
I don't think that's it.
I mean, take me for example. I've forgotten everything, but I'm still alive.
That is true. I am much better off when compared to the state your head is in, Yuma.
Right.
In any case, I now know that is a transceiver. Your client must be so
however, don't know what
smart
that
to fit
is. Yeah.
inside there.
Is
All right, let's start at the
she
beginning.
really a master detective? She'd struggle to live even a normal life.
I maintain that she either has the ability to stop time or, like, rewind it a short amount, which, given that power, even if she's, like, dumb as a brick, you'd probably want her on your team as a master detective.
I can't deny that.
When's the last time you had a pizza day, Neko? Because I assume you're correct in that you're overdue.
Anyway, we have a princess from Wonderland here, so have fun escorting her.
I'm getting worried. We have to get to the vending machine near the hotel in Kamasaki district.
I'm gonna do a save so that I have the option to try and get that voice line later. Multiple people expressing interest in that. So yeah, this is fine. But yeah, so like Shinigami, the thing about Shinigami, I mean, like the rampant like self-hating sexism thing, obviously not a great trait at all. But like also just like the hardcore persistent negativity is just like a real drag to like have with you at all times in the game. It actually reminds me of this week a new season of Survivor started, and like one of the teams has been just like failing miserably already, and like the third most successful member on that team is just like Shinigami. Is just like this miserable, judgmental person who like sucks to be around, and like the whole team was like, so like even though like she's better at challenges than some of us, like we're like 100% getting rid of her, right? Oh yes, completely, yeah. It's like there's like a limit to how far competence will take you if you're just the worst. Now some people get to bend those rules by having like connections and resources and stuff, but like for an average person, you still have to be careful to some extent. It's been about a month since a pizza day. Yeah, I'd say you're overdue for that. Oh, sweet. A new side quest appeared over there. Let's go do that. Now we got Fubuki with us? Is that why this didn't spawn right away? You! Hello. I hit that button for some reason. Oh, it's you!
Come on.
I'm not reading that. I have no idea who this girl is. I saw you with Kurumi before. Are you her boyfriend? Nani?
Come on.
Hey!
Kurumi and I don't have that kind of relationship, as far as I know. Haha, it's the way you say her name. You're totally her boyfriend, aren't you? No. Shut up. Don't try to hide it. I see right through you. Is there a question in there, counselor? I thought this was a side quest.
Come on.
She sure is persistent. What's your name? It's Yuma, but Kurumi and I really aren't together. Yuma it is. Seeing as you're a love guru, I'd like to ask for your advice. Haven't done anything to demonstrate that's a thing you should think. Nani? My master, a love guru? Kyahaha. You can count on him. Stop laughing.
But
This chick sure is relentless. She's earned my respect. I don't believe that to be true. There's someone I like, but I don't know if I should tell him or not. He's very... what's the word? Aloof? He tends not to show a lot of emotion. That's why I'm not sure how he feels about me. Yeah? So, I'd like it if you, Love Guru Yuma, asked him for me. I don't think that's how love gurus or anything works. Yes, but you're both guys, so he might be willing to talk to you. And since you're a love guru, I bet you can pick up on his subtle emotions. How about it? Will you help me out? Yeah, it seems like a great waste of my time.
Oh, okay.
Alright, where can I find it? Around this time, I'm sure he's at a cafe. The Golden Path Cafe. I love when I'm like, currently in the Ginma district, and I just came from that cafe, and the dialogue in response to that is still like, oh, that's the cafe in the Ginma district, where I am, and where I just came from. Who are you, and how did you get in here? I'm a locksmith, and I'm a locksmith.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's on the way to the tall tower? What? I see, that humility must be one of your techniques. I should be taking notes. I'm not getting through to her at all. Let's just leave her be and head to the cafe. Hey, Fubuki, you saw all that, right? People are weird, huh? Hey, my guy.
Excuse me.
Do you have a minute? What is it?
Uh,
I was able to find him, but how do I even bring this up? I hooked up to him without a plan? Get it together. Why not just ask him straight up? You won't get anywhere tiptoeing around
that's
it.
true.
Here's the problem. Even the in-game dialogue system didn't tell us the girl's name. So, like, what are we gonna say? Some strange high school girl asked me if you had emotions about her. I don't know her name, and she's wearing a uniform and has probably relatively few defining features that I could use to narrow this down for you. Well, there's a girl who says she likes you. The girl from the academy. You know her? She's talked to me a few times before. I didn't know she felt that way, but I'm happy to hear it.
What?
He likes her too? Boring. Come on, who doesn't like a happy ending? But thinking about how things are in Kanai Ward, I'm afraid I can't return her feelings. This is so Japanesely written, it's delightful. I'm so fascinated by the expression, like, counting on someone, which, like, I don't know exactly the connotation in Japanese, but it is translated in anime, like, all the time, and it's, like, almost never used in English. I don't know exactly what that distinction is, but it fascinates me. She said that at the start of the outlining the job, was like, or I guess Shinigami said, like, you can count on him. And, like, if you pay attention, it comes up, like, all the time for some reason.
Huh?
He's lost in thought now. What should we do?
Then-
Maybe we can find someone to give us love advice. Yeah,
For
subcontractor.
now.
How about checking out Ginma District? I don't know what's with these mission prompts, but you know we've been in Ginma District the whole time, right? Like, it's important to me that you, the video game, understand this. If we don't find someone there, we can look somewhere else. Yeah, that's generally how that... Yep, that's fundamentally how that goes. Woman in loveless marriage. So, how was it? You went and asked for advice, right? Yeah, we're dating now, thanks to him. I'm so glad we went for a consult. I should go ask for a love consult, too. I've been stuck in a rut lately. You definitely should. I think he's still at the hotel in Kamasaki
In
district.
that case...
Sounds like someone who might know about romance. I should go meet him, too. Can I talk to these people and get DP? I'll go for some love advice, too. Really should.
For
I'll get you
now.
out of your rut in no time. No DP earned. Alright. For some reason I can't go to the Doya district. That actually does seem weird. I don't know why that's true. No, do the yes. Do the yes. I keep automatically pressing over. And that's not correct. Just declare your personal love for him and go on a date on her behalf. By the time you're married, you could be sure he has feelings and report back to her. I mean, I get in that case you would be sure that he doesn't have feelings for the girl, right, Neko? I mean, he would have feelings for you at that point. But not the person who asked. It's still an answer, but it's just a different way of getting there. How do I get to that other mission mark? What do I want to do here? I suddenly have, like, options. I don't think I want to do the yellow thing. I guess the green thing is just inside the hotel. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking it would be like, that rooftop you have to get up on to get up off of that thing. Can you recognize this design from something other than this game? It feels more familiar.
Excuse me.
You have a minute. This character model looks like just like a little bit like the guy who was at the cafe, and for a second my brain was like, wouldn't that be wild if we're like, I'm having so much trouble understanding exactly what this guy's saying about his feelings for that girl. I should ask someone who I believe to be an expert. And I go and find that person, and it's just the guy that I was like trying to figure out in the first place. It's like, well, now what do I do with that information? I've heard that people come to you for advice on love. Is that true? It is. You want a consultation too?
No.
Actually, it's not my problem per se. These two people like one another, but the guy doesn't think they can be together because Conor Ward sucks. What do you think about it?
Yeah.
Well, if he likes her, then I think you should go for it. I see. Youth. What a wonderful way of thinking. Yeah. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man and a woman who loved each other very much, and then the stork came for a visit. But they never dated. The man refused.
What does that mean?
The man was a former criminal. He paid what he owed to society, but his history made it difficult to find a job. Let's call him F. So he knew he couldn't be with her. If he was going to do so, it would only be after he found work. That's what he believed. But the woman didn't care about any of that. She told him she wanted to be with him even through tough times. If only he had expressed his feelings to her. Did something happen? The woman became ill and passed away. It seems it was rather sudden. The man regrets it to this day. Wishes he could have returned her affection.
Maybe.
The man he's talking about is... Tell your acquaintance for me. Don't let someone's feelings go to waste, especially in difficult times. You never know when it might be too late.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your advice. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. What you reading? Man, I can't seem to find DP anywhere around here. Something in this room I should be able to interact with. No, it's just that guy I was talking to. I've seen this game get me turned around more than they should. Please leave. Why is Fubuki following us? Doesn't she have tables to serve? Unclear. She said she was better suited to be an adventurer than to be a wife. which is fair enough. But I don't think anything explicitly addressed the fact that she had been a successful coffee fencer until like 10 minutes ago. I think she just wants to marry us. Many customers flock to the cafe to ogle the uniformed waitresses. At least one of them. Hey, anyone have any good news from this week? I mean, someone else did happen to also share a relatively unknown to the US band coming to the US. I thought that was going to be like my thing this week, but I'm happy to share that with someone who also gets that joy. But like, anything else cool going on in the world? Place any spy cameras at a particularly popular cafe? Anything like that? No, it's you. I'm still not sure what to do. If you're still unsure, please listen to this. I heard it from someone more experienced with love. Don't let someone's feelings go to waste, especially in difficult times.
Yeah.
Come tomorrow, there's a chance you may not ever be able to see that person again. If you have feelings for her, you should touch her face. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, because of you, I've made up my mind. I'm joining a monastery.
Yes.
Smell you later, kid. Bashful student. I said I had to deal with a catastrophe. Missed all the gameplay. What happened, and who are we marrying? Presumably everyone. Basically, we went to the cafe to place a spy camera, and we ran into Fubuki, and she's like, "How dare you not have died in that missile explosion?" And we're like, "Are we friends?" And she's like, "Yes, let's get married." And we're like, "No, we're friends." And she's like, "Okay, I guess we're friends and teammates." Now she's following us around while we matchmake some high schoolers. We ordered some deep-fried ravioli with your pizza? That sounds like a great night, Jakey. Pretty jealous. Redemption Head Heroes. Highlight of the week. You know what? Sometimes food is the highlight of the week, and that's just fine, you know? I am glad that you managed to get your tooth patched up, Neko. It sounds like that was even more serious than I had realized, and I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. X and his fiancé are going to visit your city next year? Ooh, that's exciting. Oh, I skipped over that dialogue that I left on the screen for a really long time. Anyway, I think she was basically like, I have a crush on every boy! I don't think I should be the one to tell her.
That's what happened.
He wants to tell you himself, so he said he'd come to see you soon. Nani? I can't let him see me like this. I need to put on something cuter. I'll thank you next time.
Oh!
Someone earlier asked if we get paid for this, and the answer is we get paid in exposure. Both to the insanity of the world and also in DP, which aren't redeemable for cash value, but can be used to make certain mini-games insufferably slow in the Mystery Lab. Human love is such a pain.
No.
That's not true. That's impossible. I mean, it's just that people take love very seriously, and that's also why it's beautiful.
Oh no!
Master, have you become interested in love? No, it's much too early for you. It's unclear to me what your current age is. A detective is married to the job, solving cases and mysteries. Love is out of the question. Troubles of the heart. Okay, I guess we have to go to Kamasaki District for real, so I might as well take the bus there. I keep doing that, instinctively, and I don't know why. Deep Rock Galactic's board game expansion's Kickstarter went live yesterday. It's raised over 1.5 million. There are so many qualifiers to that sentence, Ditto. I only vaguely know of Deep Rock Galactic. It didn't strike me as a game that's especially well suited to being a board game. But it apparently already has one, and they're making an expansion? I can barely process this information. But, like, good for you, I guess.
This way!
And by you, I mean anyone interested in that. I'm too busy not being good at the games that I think I'm good at to take on a whole new thing.
That's it for number 3.
3? And after 3 is...
It's... I had, like, a brief dissociative moment there of, like, after doing the side quest, having the actual, like, spoken voice line match the written novel line, like, actually, like, threw me off.
Okay, I've confirmed the feed. Huh. The video quality is poor. Could it be the location or the cable?
There's no cable. I don't want to hear any questions about the cable.
Let me adjust things. Do you mind standing by for now?
Alright. Fubuki, we need to be on standby until we get further orders. We should move so the peacekeepers don't spot us.
Understood.
Is there a particular place you would like to... Hey, wait, can I have a meat... Can we have meat buns? I had this dialogue before.
Let's wait under
I can
the
no longer
overhang for
get meat
Savant to get in
buns.
touch.
Why are we helping the Resistance again? So, just to summarize, the Resistance kidnapped us, and then they took us to their hideout to introduce themselves in hopes of, like, ingratiating us to their cause. And we said, no, we can't do that right now. We're busy seeing if all our friends are dead. If they all floated down the river. And then, Gunhaver wanted to shoot us dead. But the guy in charge was like, no, instead I'll talk to him. And he was like, I know about not just homunculus, but homunculi. And I know other things from Amaterasu Corp who you also don't like. And if we work together, then I will share information. So please do this inane task.
This silence feels so awkward. What should I talk about?
Human movies. Oh gosh. I mean, the weather's kind of funny because it just has rained consistently for 3 years. I feel like asking about the Clogford family is probably the best option, but nothing in particular is also weirdly tempting. Also, it's not clear to me if this is one of those I choose one or I ultimately do all of these. I'm gonna ask about her family first.
I lost my memory, so forgive me for asking. Is the Clockford family famous?
Famous? I am unsure about that.
I feel like you should be sure about that.
I believe only... everyone in the world knows about them.
Yeah, that's not very many people. You phrase that like my 6-year-old niece would say something, which is... off-putting or something? I don't know. Neko says, this scene relies too much on unpaid child labor. So what you're saying is, it's realistic. Or perhaps slightly less cynically. I mean, the city has closed off its borders, so there's definitely a shortage of labor.
That's pretty famous. Do they run a Zaibatsu or something?
I don't know
Or
what-
are
I don't
your
know what
family
that
all
is.
politicians?
I don't know what a Zaibatsu is. Is that the, like, awakened form of a Zanpakuto? I don't watch much Bleach. That sounds right, though.
I am not certain myself. But for generations,
I don't know why we're
we have
famous.
managed the world's standard time and make any decisions regarding time and calendars.
Your family sounds like a bigger deal than I thought. So, will you be taking over your family's work in the future?
I cannot say for certain, but I did discover something after leaving home.
I'm really hoping, knowing Fubuki, that this is entirely unrelated to the conversation we're already having.
It is far more fun to travel the whole world than to sit idle in a mansion. That is why I think I will stay an adventurer detective for the time being.
Chad has informed me that a Zaibatsu roughly equates to either a big corporation or a cartel, which I can see how there's a blur between those concepts. Let's talk about the weather.
The rain just won't stop, huh?
Yuma, do you not like the rain?
Well, I haven't really given it much thought, but I don't think I like it very much.
I love the rain. Back at the mansion, I never saw the ocean. Rain was the only thing that let me imagine what it could be like. If so much water could be falling, then there must be a place where it all accumulates.
Yeah, it's called the, like, Goima district. It's pretty bad there. It's basically sewer.
You imagined an ocean from just the rain? You must have had a wild imagination as a kid.
What about knowing Fubuki Clockford for like a half hour doesn't indicate that she had a wild imagination as a kid?
I have always been told my imagination is my only real gift.
That's a weird thing to say. You almost definitely have a forensic forte. I mean, I've been making my own assumptions about exactly what it is, but I'm fairly certain that Yako specifically said, like, because of her forte, she'll be safe no matter what, or something like that.
Still, I have yet to see the actual ocean. I do want to go see it one of these days.
This definitely reads like the conversation from, like, a dating sim visual novel, doesn't it? Where, like, early on you have this conversation where you find out about her sad backstory, and also learn that there's, like, something she always wanted to do that definitely sounds like the context for a date. And then, like, if you follow that path, like, you take her to the beach, and she sees the ocean.
The ocean. Above the clouds.
Huh? Above the clouds?
Seawater becomes rain, does it not? And rain falls from the sky. Which means that the seas are above the clouds. Am I wrong? Whenever I see white clouds floating in the sky, I think, oh, it's the ocean.
Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna be the one to break it to her.
Right. I guess you can't say for sure if it's above the clouds until you see for yourself.
Exactly. Let us go see the ocean together someday. In the sky.
Right.
Tell me about detectives.
Fubuki, what made you become a detective?
Well, I am ashamed to say it, but it was my parents' instructions.
That's
I was
odd.
not even aware of what detectives do.
Yeah, I apologize for the neon. It seems like she's the sort of kid I would expect them to be trying to, like, push her to join the family business. I'm surprised that they were like, go and be a superpowered detective.
My parents wished for me to gain some worldly experience. They
Alright,
practically kicked me out.
sure, okay.
I soon joined the World Detective Organization, but even then, I was simply doing what my parents told me to do.
And you were able to become a master detective? After the training and exams?
Yes, before I knew it, I had my detective deed.
Before you knew it? Was it that easy for you? Wasn't it tough?
I do not know. So much has been on my mind since I left home that I have not taken much time to consider it. The outside world is completely new to me. Everything is bright and shiny.
No, we're in Kamasaki District.
I wanted to learn more about this new world, so I decided to become an adventurer.
And then I took this arrow to the knee, and it hasn't been going well ever since.
So that's why you keep calling yourself that.
Yes, there is nothing more exciting than exploring an unknown world. However, I do
I don't
not
know,
wish you
Pizza
to
Day's
think
pretty
I am
good.
neglecting my duties as a detective. Finding the truth in unsolved cases is similar to going on an adventure. To uncover a secret no one else knows. That is something both adventurers and detectives do.
I see. Curiosity about the unknown is what drives you.
Ah, perhaps that is it. For the first time, I feel like I finally understand myself.
I always enjoy it when this sort of thing happens in a conversation. It doesn't come up all that often in real life, but, like, there's always something gratifying to this experience.
Yuma, You are a great detective.
Thanks for waiting. I finished making the adjustments.
Oh man, I didn't get to say anything about nothing at all. I'm assuming, based on the way that was framed, that if you say nothing at all, you miss out on the opportunity to get experience from the other things or something?
I managed to process it on my end, so there's nothing you need to do over there.
Got it.
Stupid.
Can we leave this place now?
Nah, I want you to stay there for another 6 hours.
Yeah, head to the next location. This is the last one.
I
The
can
last
count to
camera
4.
will need to be set up on the road in front of Etheria Academy. Thanks!
That's Kurumi School. There shouldn't be a lot of people there at this hour. Should be easy enough.
Yuma, they say time is lightning, so we need to hurry and strike.
That sounds almost like something a character in Eternal Sonata would say before doing their special move.
I think you mean money, not lightning.
What?
Never mind. Let's go.
Right.
You better make like a tree and get out of here.
Next is the road in front of Etheria Academy. I remember we walked there from Kamasaki before.
Huh? I don't want to walk anymore. Come on, let's just take the bus.
Is there a reason I wouldn't? It's weird that they specified that. Go to this place. The name of the resistance is the Anti-Establishment Organization. How
Let's end it quick.
generic. Continuing ahead, it will not be possible to return here for some time. Huh. Really? What the heck is the next thing that happens? Hold on a second. Let's do a save. No, it's not the end of the game. What it probably is the start of the next case is usually what that indicate. Like, normally that message is an indicator that, like, you should do all the side quests that you would like to do because it's gonna be a real case time and you don't have, like, freedom of movement while that's happening. But, like, it doesn't seem like we have the parameters for what the case would be, so I don't know what would happen next. Normally it's like, oh, well, we'll just, like, investigate the school or whatever. Yeah, I have a roughly similar guess to that too, Anime, is that, like, we at least have a case with Vivia Twilight, I presume. And then, there's likely at least one more case. I don't know if you partner with Yakko or if you, like, partner with everyone for parts of it or something. You know, usually the convention is something along those lines with a game, anything like this. Is there quests? So, in this chapter, we've done the teacher thing, the cult thing, the survey, and the matchmaking. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought we'd only done 3, but that is 4, and that appears to be the target. I can't. So, my impression had been that I would play up until the point that I got roughly this message and I would know what the next thing that was going to happen was, and that would be a good place to leave off. Here's the problem, though. We're here and I have no idea what's happening. It doesn't seem like this is necessarily a good place to pick up from. So I think we push on at least a little further to understand, like, what actually is happening. Because currently, it seems as though we're about to start a case, and I don't know what the case is about at all. Well, I've done all the side quests and I saved, so this should be fun.
That should do it. Servan, I finished setting up the surveillance camera.
The video quality checks out. Seems we're all good here. We got all 4 cameras up and running now. I don't see peacekeepers patrolling the area, and it looks like no one saw you. Great work handling this mission so quickly. Detectives sure are reliable.
I hope the cameras help you expose Peacekeeper corruption.
That's right. I believe this is the first step toward peace. All that's left is to report back to Shachi. I'm sure he has other stuff to talk about, so do you mind telling him? The frequency for Shachi's transceiver is 37.564. Thanks.
Metal Gear.
Frequency... Oh, I guess I can turn the dial here.
This errand boy quest was a pain, but it'll be worth it if you get info about Amaterasu.
I'm glad there wasn't any conflict involved. I was lucky to find Fubuki, too. Let's finish up and get back to searching for Chief Yako and the others.
Fubuki 2? Is there already a sequel to Fubuki?
Shachi's frequency is 37.564. Huh? 5 minutes until detonation? What is this?
What the heck? Did we just get Uchikoshi? Did we just get 999?
Wait, don't tell me. Is that thing gonna explode? That's a countdown, right?
It'll explode? It's near the telephone booth in Marnomon district. That's where we set up the first security camera.
Hold on, what's near the telephone booth? What frame of reference are we given that we know what's being counted down? I'm genuinely confused about this. Is the notion that all of these cameras are actually bombs, and that the resistance is, like, going straight up terrorist, even though they specifically said, or Shachi at least said, that they weren't terrorists?
What is the matter, Yuma? You look like you just pressed a bomb's detonation button.
That's such a good read. Like, I gotta be honest, if I saw that expression on a person, I'm not sure I'd immediately know that that's what that expression looked like. But she read that in an instant. And she doesn't understand what the ocean is.
Wait, Master, you pressed it?
No,
You were here for that.
I didn't do anything.
Anyway, let's go check it out. Maybe this is some sort of prank.
Fubuki, we're heading to Marnomon district. We need to hurry.
All
We need to hurry. Quick, get on the bus.
I understand, but it sounds like an adventure.
What's detonating is currently the question. I think we're led to believe that the cameras that we placed around the city are actually bombs, and we got duped. But I'm a little bit unclear on the details at the moment, which is presumably intentional.
That sound. Oh no. Please let me be wrong.
Let's hurry to the phone booth!
That explosion just now, where did it take place?
I think it was the phone booth. I know where that is, so follow me.
I kind of know where that is. I've spent like 10 minutes in this place. And most of it was trying to figure out if anyone was floating down the river.
I smell a case.
The phone booth's been blown away. Was that the explosion earlier?
I mean, I'll be honest, it's not great that that happened, but given the amount of damage that was done to this phone booth, that's not, like, the worst thing that could have happened.
A public phone exploded? Maybe the batteries were overcharged.
Nope. Nope.
From the looks of it, the silver lining is no one's been injured in the explosion. There's something on the transceiver.
What you heard wasn't some mere explosion. It is the call to rebellion. The smoke you see isn't just the smoldering ash of a stamped-out flame.
It is a ruined phone book. A symbol of, Just join up, okay?
It is the signal for revolution.
What? This message... Servan, can you hear me? Servan? Shachi, please answer me!
What you're about to hear echo across Kanai Ward is the Song of Revolution. Revolution inevitably requires sacrifice. Beloved citizens falling as casualties cannot be avoided.
What's the game plan here?
However, death comes equally to us all. Equality is revolution.
Is this the Jigsaw revolution? What's happening?
That being said, a revolution must also be fair. Thus, since you were the one to plant the bombs, I will also give you a chance to stop them from exploding.
Oh, that's really weird. I thought that this was a publicly broadcast message that was, like, telling everyone to, like, pay attention because the rebellion was responsible. Instead, this is just some guy being, like, just, like, pontificating to us for no value and then being like, by the way, I guess you could maybe stop the bombs if you don't suck.
The one who planted the bombs? Me?
So, Yuma, you were not setting up surveillance cameras. You were planting bombs?
No!
You have set 4 bombs around Kanai Ward.
Stop saying that.
One of them just detonated. The first bomb was a demonstration, so the damage was minimal. But now you've seen this message is no joke. The bombs are real.
This message is so long. I'm bored. I'll leave the rest to you, Master.
I guess she's counting on me or whatever. Oh, and then the voice drops out. The bombs will detonate in the order you set them up. You are the only person who can disarm them. Here is how to do
When
so.
it's armed, move the transceiver close to the bomb and cut the detonation circuit. However, to cut a detonation circuit, you must perfectly execute the steps as displayed on the transceiver screen. You have 60 minutes to act. Whether to disarm the bombs or not is up to you. Once the timer reaches 0, this transceiver will explode along with the bombs. Meaning, you cannot avoid death, even if you ignore the people and try to flee. There is no escaping the revolution. You decide the future of Kanai Ward.
I gotta tell you, it's harder and harder to find just like a reasonable job out there, you know?
I wish you luck.
Why? Why me?
People just don't treat their employees with respect, you know?
You really get dragged into trouble all the time.
This isn't funny! The countdown's already started! If I don't disarm the bombs, then I'll blow up with this watch!
Then just take it off.
Oh, right!
Obviously that won't work. Someone's played an
It won't
Uchikoshi
come
game.
off. What's going on? Is it locked?
Normally, if you try to tamper with one of those things, you get punished.
Maybe it explodes if you force it off.
You should have mentioned that earlier!
Breaking news from the Amaterasu Corporation Peacekeepers.
A strange little anime girl and her robot are in the news studio. Question mark?
Hello, my slaves of Kanai Ward.
What's this all about? This is like Jaws from James Bond's anime daughter? And her friend is... I don't even know, man. Like, business casual Mega Man?
Are you loving your happy, subservient life? It's your Peacekeeper Counterterrorism Squad Leader, Guillaume Hall!
Her name is Guillaume Hall?
My special party trick is fortune telling. Here it goes! Bad luck today for anyone with a Berenice's hair constellation sign. Some jealous Baldy is gonna kill you.
I'm not even gonna attempt to understand that.
Anyway, the guy behind me is Dominic. As you can see, he's an absolute intellectual.
Oh, I forgot to mention Dominic. Did anyone notice Dominic?
Come on and say hi, Slowpoke.
Oh.
His name was Dominic Full Tank? That's gotta be like an adult performer name.
Wow, that was kind of philosophical, you know? I wonder if my slaves in Carnivore got that. Anyway, did you know there was an explosion in Marnamon District? How many died? None? Well, not like I care.
I feel like it's weird of you to take this brazen stance publicly on TV, Peacekeeper girl.
The Resistance caused the explosion in Doya District. The Peacekeepers received their proclamation loud and clear. Look here. Read it, Nugget.
Ooh.
I really appreciate him clearing his throat, whether or not he's about to successfully read
In
this.
summary, that's all there is. They set up a bomb as an act of terror.
In summary, I already said the whole thing, so there was no need to ask him.
But thanks to some leaks, we've already identified the perpetrator.
Oh, very good. It's us on the TV.
Ta-da! Here he is. His name is Yuma Cocohead. Wow, he sure looks like a terrorist, all right.
We're so unbelievably hosed by the current situation.
As you know, Conivore is a town of justice. Terrorists have no human rights here. Everyone, kill him on sight. The Peacekeepers say it's A-okay.
It's like the Purge, but just for us in particular.
Hey, you underhanded, rotten, bottom-feeding terrorist bomber trash. You listening? You've got nowhere to run.
Does anyone else have the overwhelming urge to challenge Dominic Full Tank to a children's card game?
Okay?
Is that just me?
Okay, come on. Do something, you nitwit.
Ooh.
Is this a joke? Why am I...
Hey, I think I recognize that face.
Fubuki Clockford, why?
Wait, I'm not a terrorist. I've been set up.
A setup? So your client tricked you?
That's all I can think of, since she said there was a leak. So Shachi and the Resistance tricked me? They took advantage of me?
So, am I to understand that when all is said and done, we're going to have introduced, like, 5 new characters only for them to collectively be responsible for the conspiracy to frame us for this bombing, and then we'll go into the mystery labyrinth, murder all of them, and it will be unnecessary for us to have met any of them? Great use of everyone's time, Raincoat, thank you.
He spoke so passionately about peace. Was it all a lie?
You
It's
won't
very
fight
possible-
them with violence. It would only lead to more lives lost.
I would genuinely not be surprised if Shachi in particular was not in on this plan. I could believe that he was, but he did seem more sincere than the others. Clearly, the tech guy is involved, but like Gunhaver and Anime Waluigi and Grumble McGrandpa, they all seem shady enough I could believe that they just were in on this.
We're gonna take them down the right way. The Resistance are not terrorists.
How could this be the right way? You were supposed to reject violence.
They were pretty violent from the moment you were taken to their hideout.
Well...
It's fine to be all sentimental or whatever, but you should take a look around.
Did they already notice me?
The explosion's countdown is still ticking away. There's no time to stand around and think. At this rate, you're gonna end up dying as a terrorist.
I don't want that. We have to go disarm those bombs.
I'm guessing that we can't show our face on the bus or something, so we have to, like, navigate every place on foot, probably.
Oh, but first, there's still time until the next explosion. We should visit the Resistance's hideout.
Should we? Is that a thing we should do? I don't think that's accurate.
Boom killing them is payback for tricking you, right?
Of course not! I need to talk to Shachi and find out the truth.
I feel like we should not get exploded or murdered. I feel like that's a higher priority than talking to Shachi.
Master, you still believe these people can be reasoned with?
Yuma, is something the matter?
Fubuki, please hear me out. Even if the next bomb is disarmed, there are 2 more. Right now we have a grace period of 60 minutes, but we don't know if the same will be true of the rest. That's why we need to stop this whole plot, while there's still even a little bit of extra time remaining.
I agree. This very well may be the worst idea this character's had this game anime, and that is saying something.
So you have a plan then?
I'm going to see the client. If the client really is behind this, then I have to try and convince them to stop.
I doubt it'll go so smoothly.
No, I'm sure it'll be fun.
Anyway, we have to act now. We can think about it later.
Very well. Danger always accompanies adventure. I will stay by your side. After all, we are the last survivors, partner.
She's so happy about that. It's so grim.
Thank you. Also, I still believe everyone is alive.
Thanks, but please stop saying our friends are dead.
Resistance hideout was in Doya district. Don't come crying to me if this all goes south.
I feel like I'm gonna want to immediately save, probably. Probably immediately save. Unclear to me what... Yeah, the buses are off limits. That makes sense to me. It's a nuisance, but I understand. Unclear to me if the game will track... the timer, like, in real time. So I need to go to Kamasaki, to the riverbank, to Doya. I'm gonna struggle with that. Hello, I'm a terrorist. How am I supposed to do my job? 5 points. See, this is why you talk to strangers when you're suspected of crimes. No, I need to go this way. I need to contact my family. Man, I bet there's like a lot of points you can miss out on here.
You better hurry or you'll run out of time.
It's not an actual display on the screen of time passing, so again, not sure how that works. You're pretty close. Do you need... Hey, wait, aren't you a terrorist? No, I didn't do crimes. Did you miss that broadcast? You're an awesome wanted criminal. I'm calling the peacekeepers. If you don't run, they're gonna collar you. Are you enjoying this, Shinigami? Because she's, like, bad? Because she's sort of like a bad person, ghost, demon, death god? Yeah, I also don't think it's a literal timer. I think if it was, we would know by now.
To be shown on such a big screen, Yuma.
It's not like I wanted to be a wanted criminal. What the heck is going on here?
I should have stayed in bed today. Peacekeepers still aren't here. I'm gonna try and hit as many of these as possible, because it definitely seems like these are possible points you won't get later. Could have spent more time in the last area, but like, it's a lot of people, man. I think I've seen your face somewhere before. You know, that wanted terrorist, aren't you? I'm not a terrorist. I gotta tip off the peacekeepers and get a reward. I should leave. He is not listening. So I need to go...
Sneaking around like this is the essence of adventure. I am all fired up, Yuma.
Really? I'm terrified about being discovered.
I'm all outdecked in casual fashion. I mean, honestly, I think some of these reactions are pretty close to stuff you might expect people on the street to have as reactions to that broadcast. I don't think it's like completely...
It looks like that resistance woman hates your guts. Careful, or you'll be pumped full of lead.
That's a scary thing to say.
Like, the first guy who said anything about it, like, threatened to call the cops, and then the second guy was going to call the cops and hope for, like, reward money. I think the other people just, like, aren't actually paying attention to the fact that we're the person, which I legitimately think is a thing you would see a lot of.
Oh, wow! These must be the ruins of an ancient civilization.
Sure, why not?
Not really. Most people would just call Doya District the slums.
Oh, I see. Apologies for my ignorance. I suppose this is a lifestyle where you stay in harmony with nature.
They're like druids. Financially insecure druids.
Wait, Fubuki. Those are peacekeepers.
Huh?
The peacekeepers are on the move after that explosion. The client's hideout is up ahead. We need to move carefully so they don't see us.
Oh my god. Is it a stealth section?
But
I don't like that.
Why did the Resistance issue a declaration anyway? They would have known this was going to happen.
As the game progresses, there are definitely more, like, loading screens. Wait, what was the point of whatever just happened?
There's the fugitive!
They found me! What do I do?
See? This is why I was against the plan!
Well, it is a pretty bad
We have to
plan, in
lose them.
fairness.
Fubuki, please follow me. We're running.
Right.
Get back here!
Time!
Her Detective Forte has returned to the past.
Huh?
Unsurprisingly, it looks like it takes a lot more energy than the average Detective Forte.
I didn't do anything.
Yuma, the peacekeepers are catching up.
Omega 13, yeah, basically.
Find some place to hide.
Right. Those are the peacekeepers who just surrounded us.
So, I gather we're probably not supposed to remember that we did a return to the past, but because we were holding her hand, Coalescence let us tap into the part of her power where she has consciousness of the time change. Also, do you love this? This hiding space is what my friends and I used to call Doctor Who hiding, because especially in older Doctor Who's, when, like, budgets were limited, it was common to just, like, have, like, just some, like, slightly off to the side part of the set where, like, the Doctor and his companions would, like, crouch while, like, the bad guys were chasing them. But they were, like, clearly in full sight. Like, you could very easily find them if you were really trying, but the plot said that they wouldn't get caught. So they were just Doctor Who hiding off to one side.
Fubuki, was that your forte? It feels like time was reversed. Hold on, it wasn't just a feeling. Time really was turned back.
Huh? You noticed? But I should be the only one who can detect the reversal of time.
Neko says she's seen enough old Doctor Who to know that that is the true thing. Right? Like, that is a for real feature of classic Doctor Who.
Yuma, are you also of the Clockford family bloodline? Are you my long-lost brother?
That's gonna make our marriage, like, super awkward.
No, I'm not.
I'm just a creep who likes to hold hands.
But I do have the ability to share another Master Detective's forte. Specifically when we hold hands. Oh, right! I was holding your hand back then.
So you can share fortes. I see.
That's indecent. What's your body count?
It appears my maiden secret has been exposed by you, Yuma.
What the crap?
It is true. I can reverse time. That being said, the amount of time I can reverse is limited. Also, the amount I reverse is proportional to my fatigue. Even now, I feel...
Are you alright?
Yes, I am fine. There's no need to worry. I can still move.
Interesting. I get now how this airheaded, sheltered skank got into the WDO so effortlessly.
One starts to wonder if, like, because she, like, doesn't remember how difficult it was to, like, get into the WDO, if she would, like, fail a test and then, like, go back and fix it. But that sort of suggests you would immediately find out what your score was, or something.
Turning back time is an insanely powerful ability. It far surpasses human limitations. Ah! If there are people with abilities like this, I'm gonna fade into the background.
Your forte is pretty useful for avoiding peacekeepers. So, is it okay if we continue to hold hands for now? Just in case. By holding hands and receiving permission to share your ability, I can turn back time too.
You can do that? After all the training I had to do. I knew you were no ordinary person, Yuma.
I know I've basically said it before, but I do really appreciate that we're, like, hand-holding Mega Man, which is, it combines two of my favorite things. One, you may notice that I'm wearing one of my many Wall-E and Eve shirts because I love the movie Wall-E, which is all about two robots finding love and holding hands, and it's very cute, and I'll fight you if you say otherwise. And two, Mega Man, who steals the power of Robot Masters by touching them, or, you know, in the video games, blowing them up, but I think canonically it's supposed to be slightly less extremely violent. Like I says, the other thing from Classic Doctor is really cheap outfits and monsters. I have this memory of the Doctor running away slowly while trying to look scared of what looked like a tea trolley chasing him. Yeah, that's pretty familiar, yeah. There's something endearing, though, about, like, old Doctor Who, where, like, the effects just weren't there and they just did their best.
But do we really have to hold hands? I have never held hands with a man before.
Two things. One, we were already holding hands. And the other being, I might be 12, I'm not sure.
My ability won't work properly otherwise.
I see. I understand. In that case...
What's wrong, Master?
When our hands met, I sensed Fubuki's fatigue. I guess turning back time is extremely straining.
I would figure.
Even if the power is amazing, we can't continue to rely on it. Keep moving carefully, so you don't get caught by the peacekeepers.
Yeah. Let's head to the hideout.
Probably can't save until this cutscene ends. Nope, another cutscene.
That's... a peacekeeper? What bad timing!
Go left.
Fubuki, now!
Right, understood.
Let's shout about it. Fubuki, let's quietly go left!
We have been spotted!
We'd better hide somewhere. Let's hide here.
Damn it!
Doctor Who
Where
hiding
did
part
they
2.
go?
It didn't look to me like he's just holding a branch. This is the dumbest crap. This is so
Looks like
Doctor
they're
Who.
gone. Let's go while we can.
Right.
We finally made it. This is the Resistance hideout.
Let me tell you that my impression is that we originally had in mind a much more ambitious chase sequence, and like we just couldn't make the mechanics good or interesting. And so what we got was whatever we just experienced, which seemed, in my opinion, real doofy. Nico asks, do you know the Candyman from old Doctor Who? It doesn't come to mind. It's been quite a while since I've really watched old Doctor Who, but, like, I don't think so. But yeah, Neil Patrick Harris is supposed to be playing the Toy Maker, and I was reading a little bit about this. He's playing for the Doctor Who 60th anniversary special, which is, I don't know exactly when it's happening, but it's soon, right? I was reading that, like, that's one of the, like, famously a bunch of the old Doctor Who episodes are basically, like, lost to time. Like, the original film that they were shot on is, like, destroyed, and in a lot of cases they have audio, and sometimes they've recovered it from, like, recordings people made at home. And, like, in some cases, like, people recorded the audio, and, they've made, like, certain animated reproductions of, like, lost episodes and things like that. But, like, apparently whatever, like, one episode, like, the Toy Maker is from is, like, known to be, like, pretty racist. And so even though they're, like, bringing back the character, they've expressed, like, no willingness to, like, try and reproduce the episode or something. It sounds like it's a whole thing.
Fubuki, are you alright?
Yes. Though I am a bit tired and my mind is a little hazy.
That sounds like pretty baseline Fubuki.
You should hide somewhere and rest. It might be dangerous inside the building, so I'll go in alone.
But I am your only surviving partner.
No, please, save your strength. I'll ask for your help when I need it. Also, everyone is alive. I'm sure of it.
Please stop saying our friends are dead.
If you insist. Very well. I will stay put and rest.
I hope she brought those branches with her, then no one will find her.
Master, you're so kind. You never treat me like that! I want to be treated kindly too!
I mean, like, maybe you shouldn't be the worst.
There's no time. Let's go.
There's no time for kindness or tantrums. At this point, I've also forgotten the knowledge I accumulated over which Doctor was which. I know that I had a peculiar attachment to the second Doctor, which I don't think is a super popular opinion.
It's awfully quiet. There's no one on lookout either.
Is this the terrorist hideout?
I like that this character is named Foul-Mouthed Peacekeeper.
Someone's here! Hide!
Their leader Shachi should be here somewhere. We must capture him at all costs.
Hey, open up! Open up immediately!
Do you like this goofy Three Stooges routine where they all, like, run and stop at the same point where they basically, like, bump into each other? Also, I'm pretty sure the voice actor for Violent Peacekeeper is the tech guy, who is also Vemon, as we established last week.
We know you're in there!
The Peacekeepers are looking for Shachi too. This is bad.
Hey, wait!
Neko says she also likes Second Doctor. That's good. I'm glad it's not just me. I've only seen a few Second Doctor stories, but I like his style. My friend who's like much more well versed in Doctor Who described him as sort of like the fool Doctor, because he just like plays like an absolute idiot and then gets you to underestimate him, and then he does like normal Doctor stuff, but people think he's like less capable, so he tricks them, which is like, yeah, that's sort of my style, I think. How did he run past them out that door?
Stop, Master! If you go out there now, the Peacekeepers will see you!
But...
He ran to the roof!
Yeah, Tom Baker's great. I've seen a good amount of Tom Baker stuff. Probably not like a reasonable cross-section of everything he did, though. Patrick Troughton. I always remember his first name and forget Troughton.
Damn it! He locked the door! Hey! Open up!
Shachi ran to the roof. We have to get to him somehow.
There's the alternate way up. Have a flashback right now.
How?
There's an alternate way up. Have a flashback right now.
It looks like the Peacekeepers have forced Shachi to the rooftop. Oh!
Let me try and get some points. Hey, look, it's the mark of the resistance. No points. Alright.
Huh? Are you gonna run? You're just gonna forget about that Shachi guy?
Am I taking crazy pills here? There's a second way up, outside. We established it really clearly before. It seems like it's the thing to do.
Not at all. Do you remember those emergency stairs to the roof?
It's just doing that thing where the game assumes I'm dumber than I am. It's doing the thing my boss has been doing for 3 weeks.
If Shachi ran to the rooftop, then he must have used the emergency stairs.
Oh, right! So you're gonna get the jump on him. Hell yeah! Let's go catch that fraudster before the Peacekeepers do, and make him cough up the truth!
Hey, Bunny, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing well. The headache returns for no reason.
I don't see Shachi around. Is he still on the roof? I should head to the roof for now.
I like that it just warped us to the fire escape. They like really jerry-rigged this. Does anyone else appreciate the subtlety of normally there's like a character name that goes in that blue text there, and it just says gunshot, as though a character named Gunshot said bang really loudly instead of actually like a sound effect happening. So I should thank you for gifting a sub to Ice Funny, and also thank you to Angel for the resub during the pre-stream. Here. There you go. Enjoy some confetti. Really, Neko says Kohei knows David Tennant and Matt Smith personally, due to his uncle being an actor. That's pretty cool. Tech and I were once at a taping of, like, the Nerdist TV show where Matt Smith was, like, their secret guest. We were pretty excited about that. Because Tech had been, like, a big fan of the Nerdist show when it was still on. And so, like, he got me to go along with him. And we thought we saw him before the show, and we were like, no way. That guy over there who, like, snuck into that door, that wasn't Matt Smith, was it? And then it was. We were very close to him. We did not talk to him at all, because we are not actors. We already have a character named Full Tank. I don't see why we couldn't have a character who's literally called Gunshot. I mean, it's a fair point, Neko. But I still feel like we would actually hear them deliver the dialogue bang, as ridiculous as this game is.
Huh? Was that a gunshot?
Master?
No, it was a character named Gunshot.
Let's hurry.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. This didn't go good. And what's worse is we have
believe what I saw.
less than an hour to
A
defuse
sea
the
of blood,
bombs.
the sight of which I still haven't gotten used to. Within that strangely colored pool, a corpse lay. A corpse that undeniably belonged to Shachi.
That's a really
His eyes
weird
were
way of
wide
saying that.
open, and a tunnel connected the two holes on the sides of his head. But stranger still, no one else was around. A gunshot just rang out. There was no place to run, no place to hide.
It could have been a sniper from that island,
Not a soul
like
was
off
to
the
be
coast,
seen.
you know? You know, Sniper Island, which is in our hearts?
Hey, what was that noise? Open up right now!
The peacekeepers sound frantic on the other side of the door. Looks like it's still locked from this side. That means the only
There's
way
a
to
key
enter
in
and
the
leave
lock.
the rooftop are the emergency stairs I just used. But no one came down the stairs after that gunshot.
I wonder if we're meant to immediately clock the fact that we earlier had a chance to try and just jump off the roof, even though there wasn't a way to break the fall. Nice Funny says, it's been a bit like life gives you lemons and you're not in the mood for lemonade. Oh, let me tell you how much I relate to that. But the internet and Twitch are nice, with people from all over to chat with. That's some good perspective, Ice Bunny. And I, for one, am very grateful to have you here, hanging out. Could have shot him and ran back down the way he came up. I mean, they want us to believe that the only two ways to reach the roof are the stairs that the Peacekeepers just took, which are supposedly locked. And we do see, I'm pretty sure we saw a key in the lock there to reinforce that, as goofy as that is. Or the way that we took up. And since we went up that way and didn't see anyone come down, it's supposed to be another locked room mystery just on our roof. But, like, it also strikes me as we should consider the fact that, like, someone shot him from a different rooftop or something.
No matter how you look at it, this must be a suicide.
But your implication isn't wrong. Like, there's a world in which they somehow staged the fact that the door is locked, killed him themselves, and then whatever. But, like, if this guy... I guess the problem with that seeming unlikely is just that, like, this guy is essentially the leader of a known terrorist group, and those guys are, like, essentially law enforcement. So, like, they wouldn't have had any reason to need to try and, like, cover up the murder. They would just be doing their job by killing him.
Ah, we finally get a corpse and it's just suicide. That's no fun!
Oh, look, Explosion is also here with his buddy Gunshot. Explosion said kaboom. I'm pretty sure that means that the... Which one did we do second? I guess the cafe one exploded?
Ah!
What? Another explosion?
Yeah, a whole hour passed, idiot,
That one must be
probably.
really close by.
The countdown isn't at 0 yet.
Okay,
So it's
different
a
thing.
different explosion?
Besides, the next bomb to explode is the one at the cafe in Ginma District.
Oh yeah, we could go to Gima District.
I don't understand. What's going on here?
Master, in times like these, you should look for the solution keys. There should be clues that help solve the mystery.
Right. Nothing will be solved if I keep panicking. I need
Except
to
the mystery of
investigate the
panicking!
scene and figure out what's going on.
Investigation. So... I'm thinking that might be a good place to stop progressing the story. Because... for those just joining us, my plan tonight, because we have October coming up and plans to play more spooky games, the plan for tonight was to try and, like, reach a good stopping point in the story so that we could pick things up fairly easily on coming back to this, and then spend the next few weeks doing spooky games. So I feel like that might be a good place to stop progressing the story, because we're going to start doing investigation and we'll get clues, and if we go any further, then we'll have to try and remember the clues we already have. But if we pick up here when we resume, then, you know, we'll be getting those clues fresh, and it'll all sort of be together at the same time. However, part of that plan was to try checking out the Gumshoe Gab feature, something established early on, and that we've collected some more. Basically, these are conversations you have with fellow detectives from the agency, most of whom had died in a missile explosion. But, like, we could try out this feature and maybe get to learn more about these characters who have all died, and then, you know, these are things that I've kind of wanted to explore, and it wasn't easy to find, like, a logical point in any stream to, like, do them. How do you think your dad and brother murdered Shachi? Wait, what did I miss? Assume the countdown was meant for one bomb and not when the last one would explode. I think that is true, anime. I think it makes very little sense to me, but I do think that the game has implied, in sort of a roundabout way, that the timer was for the second bomb in sequence. And not for all, like, to defuse all remaining bombs. Now, that strikes me as a weird way to go about doing it, but I do think that is what the game intends us to understand. It's either the gardener or the butler. And that guy doesn't look like he has a butler. That's, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Ice Bunny, in that locked room mystery is, like, usually at some mansion where there's hired help or whatever. And it's usually the butler did it. But, like, this game's a lot ridiculous. It's a lot ridiculous. Let's check out this memory with our boss and see what our experience with the Gumshoe Gab is like. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. You're from a gardener family IRL. Do you also do gardening things or enjoy, like, having your own garden, Ice Bunny? It's always jarring to see this man's clothes covered in
I'm back.
blood.
Huh? What happened?
Oh, Yuma. I'm done for.
I really like this voice actor.
Seriously, what happened?
Well, Yasuhiko and Halara got into a fight while gambling. You know how stubborn those two are. I tried to calm them down, but things got out of hand.
And then Mr. Gunshot and Mr. Explosion joined in, and things got really
I
loud.
didn't know what to do. But then Fubuki showed up. And she started shouting for them to quit fighting. She jumped right in. And things just descended into chaos.
I think I get the picture.
In the end, those two made up just so they wouldn't have to deal with the situation. They'll never listen to a thing I say. I'm not sure I can lead these monsters. Maybe I'm not cut out to be boss here.
I mean, considering that in the future past you've been exploded by a missile, and that's due in some part to your inability to actually convince me, the player character, to stop solving crimes, you might not be wrong about that.
That's not true. You're doing great, Chief.
Me? Great? What have I done that's great?
What? Well...
So, based on the one of these we've experienced together so far, you and I, chat, I don't know if there's a right answer to these, necessarily. But, like, I feel like I probably want to choose the only one of these that feels like it's a positive thing, right? Why is Chief alive again? I see somebody stepped out of the room for several minutes. I'm using the detective gab thing. It's like a feature in the game. You find collectibles and then you can like do these cutscenes that like establish further relationships with the other detective characters. And it's a way that I can productively do something in the game without advancing the plot beyond where I want it to stop. So Chief is good at putting smiles on faces, which is like kind of a nice thing to say to a normal person, and probably like a condescending thing to say about your boss, who should be good at leading and solving crimes.
How do I put this? I think everyone is able to smile thanks to you. Working under your supervision keeps everybody cheerful.
So I'm nothing better than a mood setter.
Now you get it.
If any of you bought a puppy, I'd be unemployed.
Now he's totally sulking.
No, what else is the chief great at? Anyway, you're great.
What do you mean?
I don't have the right words, but I think you're great in your own way, Chief.
Sounds a bit forced. Still, thanks. All I needed was a good laugh to feel better about everything. Well then, I'll continue being the boss for now.
Looks like he finally cheered up.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, that reminds me. There's something I want to ask you.
What's up?
It's about my memories. At this rate, I worry I won't remember anything. So I was hoping we could make, like, a mission plan, or at least a list of things I could try, to jog my memory.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but handling stuff like that is way out of my league.
I know, we've established that your league basically consists of doing nothing.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that the bloodstain is intentional. I mean, it's clearly modeled after... I mean, I want to say it's like a phoenix, but it kind of looks more like a goose splashing in the water or something. But, like, it's clearly like an intentional bird shape, but it just always looks like blood splatter.
Never mind that. Feeling down got me hungry. Hey, did you buy a meat bun for me? I hope you didn't forget the mustard.
I know he's not a bad person, but still...
It's such a strong reaction to have to that. Like, I get that that's like a comment to be frustrated about, is like, so I'm the errand boy and I should buy your food and whatever. But like, to go straight to like, I know he's not a bad person.
Maybe he really isn't fit to be in charge.
That is accurate.
Master, you and Yako seem to have grown even closer together.
How is that your takeaway from this conversation? How is that anyone's takeaway from that conversation? So I don't actually know. Do you get like DP for that or something? Like, is there some benefit to doing these, or is it just for fun? I don't know. I've only done one. It was a while ago. I only got one with Halara. Unlocking this... Oh, is it... Yeah, it has me... I see. Use memory. Echo's lifestyle. A complete night owl, he typically sleeps until noon, even when there's work to be done. That's why it's the Nocturnal Detective Agency.
Oh no, I got careless and ended up alone with Halara.
I appreciate the internal monologue, I think, more than the dialogue. Where he's like, I don't think he's a good boss. He's just like, are in a room with Halara, and you're like, oh no, I made a mistake and I'm in a room with Halara.
I guess I should be the one to start the conversation. I'm the rookie, after all. But what do I say?
Do you feel awkward?
Huh?
Always. I mean, yes.
It's natural to strike up a conversation when two people are together. Such is the mundane way of the masses. You're overtaxing your tiny brain to do so, aren't you?
That's very helpful and not condescending.
Well, sort of.
Then how about you and I have a wager?
But I thought the chief said no more gambling.
The boss said it's forbidden, so you won't do it. You think I can be swayed by that sort of logic?
I'm not sure it matters if you could be swayed by that logic if he's an unwilling participant.
Besides, gambling can nurture skills that every detective needs. I believe it will be to your benefit.
And what sort of skills are you talking about?
Instead of always asking for answers, why not figure it out for yourself for once?
She's just trying to shark me, right?
Yeah, think!
A skill needed by detectives, which can be trained by gambling.
I mean, based on my understanding of how anime usually treats the concept of gambling, I feel like you could probably realistically answer with any of these. I feel like the most practical answer, maybe, is observation skills. How old do you think Yuma is? I don't know, somewhere between 12 and old enough? He's probably like early 20s or something.
Observational skills?
That's right. Gambling isn't merely decided by coincidence. For example, in poker, you can study the cards already in play, as well as the expressions of dealers and players. You observe all that, make logical deductions, and commence battle. How about it? Wouldn't you agree those are the skills every detective needs?
I get what you're saying, but...
When are you going to stop nitpicking? After all you made me explain, you will have to play a match with me.
But there's no way I stand a chance against you.
Not to
That's the
worry.
point. I'm taking
We'll
all
do
your
a
money.
warm-up first, with nothing wagered. I'm not going to hustle a beginner straight off the bat.
But after that preliminary freebie round, I will hustle a beginner.
Okay.
Are we gambling on coin flips?
Yes! I beat you!
It was just a game of heads or tails. But still, you show some promise.
There's no valuable observational skills in a game of heads or tails.
Does that mean I have talent as a detective?
No, none of it, no.
Yes, you can say that for sure. Now the real game begins. First, let's wager. I think we should start with 10,000 Yen.
Right. This isn't how it was supposed to go.
Don't be foolish. I lost the warm-up so you'd feel that rush, and mistake your own skill level.
Okay, A, she claimed that she wasn't going to hustle a rookie, so that's pretty chill. B, coin flips don't work that way.
It's rather obvious I did it on purpose. I let you get carried away and made you take a gamble against me.
That's terrible!
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you did control it, that's like a pretty, like, shady thing.
Aw, you got completely hustled. You picked the wrong detective to mess with.
I think that was a rather good learning experience. It's crucial for detectives to doubt other people's intentions, no matter the circumstances.
I'm actually fairly certain that the expression she used is that she wouldn't hustle right off the bat, which you could interpret as the first round, but I think is like a really hostile interpretation, meaning simply that if you believed that was true, clearly the intention was to hustle and or shark from the beginning, which I agree that it probably was, but again, that just serves to illustrate that, like, she's like a pretty crappy person.
I won't charge you interest for now, but you must tell me immediately when you've developed a payment plan.
Halara is totally ruthless.
Master, you and Halara seem to have grown closer.
It's shocking and deeply confusing to me that Shinigami's takeaway from some of these conversations is like, now you're friends! This is how friendship works. I like that every time we finish one of these gabs, we're going to be looking at that guy's corpse. Until I get bored of these or run out of them. We're a million in currency. I don't think we're closer. Yeah? Oh, that's weird. It looks like I missed a gab somewhere in the middle. Like I have her fourth one, but not her third one. In any case, we have another one with her. Yeah, I don't think we're friends with Halara. She's competent, but she also views us as a means to money and nothing further. Which may be true, but, like, definitely isn't cool. These gab scenes are very stilted.
There'd better be a proper reason for this.
It's about something you mentioned. You developed post-cognition just 3 days after joining the World Detective Organization.
Yes, but I still had the gift of psychometry before I joined the WDO. What made you want to ask about it?
I can't help thinking about it. Do I really lack a forte?
You have that coalescence ability.
That's not exactly my ability. It's different, sorta.
Serious question. The implication here is that coalescence would be part of the contract with Shinigami. Have we been given any reason to think that's specifically true? I mean, Shinigami explained the ability to us, but, like, Shinigami also has our memories. My impression was sort of that it struck me that it functions more like a forte than it does the other abilities that Shinigami grants. And so I was personally operating under that assumption.
Anyway, I refuse to believe I don't have a real forte.
So you want to find out if you do?
Yes, that's right. I figured you'd be the most knowledgeable about fortes here. If I have any sort of ability, you may be able to help me remember it.
That's no good. There you go again, depending on others.
Very well. That'll be 100,000 Yen.
100,000? I figured Halara wouldn't do it for free, but it's worth it if it helps me remember my abilities. All right. I'm a bit short at the moment, but I'll pay you back one day.
Good. It's a deal. I will provide you useful information as long as time permits. Now, let's start with the prerequisites. Master detective abilities are often linked with original talents and dispositions. That is typically the case.
Linked with original talents?
Neko said, I don't believe would have been provided by Shinigami. We would have needed a forte to join WDO, which is before Shinigami. Anime's correct. The way they've described it is that, like, you can join the WDO just out of, like, interest and take tests to sort of demonstrate, like, detective ability. But I think it's specifically master detectives are detectives who, like, meet all those criteria but also have a forensic forte. Which is why in one of those chief conversations, he implies that he's not a master detective, because I think he doesn't have an ability.
Take, for example, a master detective who can hear the thoughts of others. Prior to awakening that ability, they excelled at imagining what other people were actually feeling. A master detective who can create electricity may have had a tendency to emit static charges before that.
It's really dumb.
Oftentimes, you can catch glimpses of their power before their forte is realized. The prerequisite for my postcognition was psychometry. I was practically born with it.
Lara, you already started with such an amazing ability. But how did you manage to get it in the first place?
It's hard to explain. Superior detectives like myself cannot be measured by a commoner's logic.
Cool.
I see.
Anyway, this is about your ability. Once we figure out your strengths and talents, we could at least predict what your power may be.
Michael says, we were called in at the start of the game as a master detective. Yeah, but the nature of the first case sort of obfuscates whether or not we were an anomaly in the sense... Like, there was a whole thing where there was, like, supposed to be, like, 5 master detectives, but there were, like, 6 of us on the train, and it turned out that, like, the traitor, like, had... I think there was, like, a period of time where we were supposed to believe that, like, it explained the situation because that person wasn't a master detective, but then ultimately it turned out that they were? Maybe I'm misremembering because it's a little while back. But, like, the game sort of purposefully makes it unclear as to whether we were, like, invited to go there as a member of the WDO or if we were literally a master detective.
That is, if you have one to begin with.
My strengths?
It has to be what you
Do I have
best.
strengths?
Think about it.
Asking other people for help? Hey, for Twitch, thanks for coming in. Thank you for Angel's gift sub. 6 months. That's many months.
My strengths are...
Getting bullied by women? I mean... Our file says we can cook. Our attempt to cook says we can't cook. I wouldn't say our strength is physical strength, so I'm gonna go with my will. Even though there don't seem to be consequences for getting these wrong. I mean, his file says he can cook. That might be wrong. Or he might have a different sense of taste than other people, and so he makes food that he likes, and it's inedible to other people. I don't know what the cooking forte is. Alright, sure. I mean, it may be the intended answer because it's in our file and it's part of our backstory. This one's for Neko, and we'll see how the game reacts to this.
I can cook, I think.
I may be getting paid for this, but I don't have that much free time. I will leave if you aren't taking this seriously.
The game doesn't like that answer.
Sorry. My strength is... If I had to pick something, I'd say the will to never give up.
What's interesting is... It feels like you're given the 3 choices. There is a right choice, and it will only let you make a wrong choice once, and then it will automatically advance the dialogue. It's interesting. Because there's, like, no consequence for getting it wrong, and getting it wrong means it'll immediately tell you what is right, it feels kind of pointless. Couldn't it just not have a choice and be dialogue? Aren't we basically doing that thing that the Pokemon games do I was complaining about earlier?
At least, I think so.
You actually said it out loud yourself.
I see. The fact that you haven't given up on your search for an ability is proof enough of that. A tenacious heart that never gives up. An ability stemming from that.
Bulletproof. Nego, if you want to see a cooking forte, you should just go back and watch that Nirvana Files Somnium about cooking. Because, I mean, that's basically what that's gotta be, right?
Perhaps it could have something to do with immortality.
Immortality?
That's nothing but my theory, though.
It kind of makes sense with the greater notion of the plot. If Masked Penthouse Guy is a homunculus of us, or we're a homunculus of him, or whatever, then, like, immortality was, like, supposed to be part of the whole deal of the homunculi, right?
Even death cannot defeat you. Wouldn't you say that embodies the concept of tenacity well?
Neko, you must have seen the Nirvana Initiative cooking Somnium. It was like Aiba versus Gen, I think? I mean, at some point, Gen's, like, in a cage or something, because it's, like, a metaphor for, like, his troubled childhood. But, like, I think it's, like, a cooking contest between the two of them.
That's true, but there's no way to verify if I am or not.
That's not true. You could definitely test it once, but it sucks to be wrong.
Incorrect. You just need to try dying once.
Yeah.
Huh?
It worked for Brooke.
Don't look at me like that. I was joking.
It's really hard to tell.
Narrator, she was not joking.
Well, that should do it. Time's up. I'll excuse myself here. Don't forget, you owe me 100,000 Xian.
Man, we owe her 100,000 Shen and she's gonna excuse herself right here in front of us? It's so weird and rude and uncomfortable.
Wait! Alara's gone. I'm beginning to worry more about my debt than if I can remember my ability.
Master, you and Alara seem to have grown even closer.
I don't feel like that's ever been true. Oh yeah, let's look at that guy's corpse again. So we have 3, but I don't think we can do... No, wait a minute. Oh, so just unlocking... So finding a certain number of them just unlocks them in the correct order? Is that how that works? Alright, let's gab with Halara. Now, it is of the utmost importance that within the next 24 hours you have to go watch that Somnium if you haven't already. It would be criminal for that to be true. It would be your favorite one of both games. I don't think it would be close. Okay, let's meet in a shady alley with Halara, who threatened to test our power by killing us and also keeps trying to steal our money. This seems like a great place for a meeting.
This is medicine for the soul.
Man, I really hope we're not about to learn that she's like a serious drug addict.
What are you doing, Halara?
I could ask you the same thing.
The chief asked me to do some shopping. I just happened to see you, Halara. Why are you staring at cat pictures in the dark?
You were watching?
Wow, you really were looking at cat photos.
That was a bluff? You of all people?
No. But I have seen you looking at cat photos before. Do you own a cat or something?
No, this is just a photo of a cute cat. I find it calming, so I carry it with me.
Oh, really?
What? You look like you have something to say.
No, it's nothing like that. I'm just happy to see a human side of you. I didn't expect
she also
you
a
to be a cat
homunculus? Homunculus.
That's not surprising. I know full well it doesn't fit my image, so I hide my affection for cats. I hope you understand you are not to tell anyone about this.
Right, I won't. But why do you like cats so much?
It's none of your concern.
But you don't want me to tell anyone, right?
Is that a threat? You're really threatening me?
No, that's not what I meant.
No, I'm blackmailing you so that I can decrease my overall debt. Yeah, right, Neko? We had the same
You've
idea.
grown braver since the day I met you. The reason why I like cats isn't a simple subject. What do you think is the best thing about cats?
Huh? The best thing?
Their shape, their freedom, awkward, uncomfortable silence. If I say nothing, will she tell me her favorite thing about cats instead?
Their most charming quality. It's hard to choose.
Yes, exactly.
Huh?
There is no way to determine a cat's single greatest trait. The elements that comprise cats, the information they emit, all
Emit?
are equally valuable.
Weird word choices.
I see.
Uh-huh.
Moreover, I can list every charming quality cats have and discuss them in extreme detail.
There's just one problem, Halara. You can't hug every cat.
Let's begin with the obvious topics. For example, their fragrance.
This is bad. It's going into super obsessive territory.
Now, I'm not like the biggest animal lover, so maybe I'm just like off base here. I'm not sure I would list fragrance as one of cat's strongest features.
Maybe Halara is happy to finally talk to someone about cats, since this side is usually hidden.
You need to stop this soon, otherwise it'll never end.
If you like cats so much, have you ever wanted to own one yourself?
That's...
Neko, you can't hug every cat. Science proved this.
Huh?
I think she's like allergic to cats.
Wrong?
I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah. She like had a weird reaction to being pressed about owning one. I figured she was allergic.
Oh.
For some reason, whenever I touch a cat, my skin becomes itchy. I've tried several times and it always happens.
That's really sad.
Jeez. Who made me this way?
I see. It's a shame Halara is allergic to cats. To think a master detective has this sort of weakness, I can't help but feel sympathetic.
Master, you and Halara seem to have grown even closer.
That's like almost arguably true this time, whereas previously that was not almost or arguably true. So there should be all the ones I can do for her if I understand the system correctly. That should be right. I honestly have no idea how many I have total or how many I have for each individual detective partner. So I have 2 with Desahiko, 2 for Fubuki, 2 for Vivi. Okay, that's fair enough. Let's get Desahiko out of the way. We have to do anything with Desahiko? Arguably. If we just get them out of the way now, they can't hurt us later. It's a pretty relatable mood, to be honest.
Such an over-exaggerated sigh. What's wrong?
I must forget how much flair this guy has.
Why did you have to be a dude?
I'm not really sure how to answer that.
Huh? That was unexpected.
I had such high hopes, you know. When the chief said he was bringing one more in, I was hoping for a bright young cutie.
I mean, we have 2 women as far as I know. The game made a weird show of, like, feigning ignorance about Halara's sex and or gender. But it seems to me as though Halara and Fubuki are both women. Although, I'll grant you that Halara is, well, aptly named as a nightmare.
And as she saw my incredible heroic feats, little by little, we'd fall in love. It'd blossom into a secret inter-office romance. Oh,
It's doing
nice
that thing
and
again.
sexy. But instead, the chief brought in some dirty kid with amnesia. All my high hopes were for nothing.
You're pretty much a little kid yourself.
Tetsuhiko, you have no one to blame but yourself for that.
What? As a dude, anyone would have some hope. That's how dudes are. It's as common as not washing your hands after using the bathroom.
That only happens in the Heavy Rain universe, or if you're, like, super problematic, which I obviously understand to be the case here.
But I wash my hands.
Ugh. I hate this. You toyed with my innocent heart.
I really want the next line of dialogue to just be Shinigami say, like, I feel like you 2 got closer.
Huh? Wait, you're seriously sulking about this?
Why would I not be serious about this? I'm dead serious in my sulking.
This is a bit much. I thought he was half joking. I didn't think he was completely serious.
That's your mistake.
He'll
That's
be
your
a pain
bad.
in the ass if he keeps on like this. Maybe you should do something to cheer him up.
Show him a cat photo.
But what should I do?
Make him smell a cat. How about me? What do I think how about me is gonna do? So, my first impression was like, I should offer to cook something because we know that it'll probably kill him. Which seems fine. I am definitely a little bit curious about how about me. But I will say that by the nature of the fact I'm pretty sure this should be wrong, it seems safe to pick it. Although the correct answer is probably like workplace relationships. So maybe we won't find out what how about me means. Part of me is curious because I feel like that's us saying like, why won't you date me? But like, I'm not sure I want to open that door.
How about I cook something up for you?
Are you kidding? The chief warned me already. Your cooking is absolutely terrible. He said raw garbage tastes 100 times better.
Oh, yeah, but like, when you cook garbage, it, tastes like a lot worse, so that's not like a fair comparison? Question mark?
So he said that, huh? Well, in that case... You know, I don't think it's a good idea to get into a relationship with someone from work to begin with.
What? Come on, get off your high horse already.
Well, dating in the workplace is one thing, but I also think you're not fit to be in any relationship.
That's like a much more valid and direct point.
What? No one knows how girls think better than me.
That's absolutely not true.
Do you know how much I think about girls every single day?
That's a completely unrelated and troubling thought.
That's not what I meant. Tetsuhiko, I don't know if a ladies' man like yourself could remain in a relationship with just one girl.
Don't backpedal. We all know that that's wrong.
So I figured you should refrain from that stuff, you know?
Huh?
Considering how attractive you are, I'm sure you're better off having lots of fans.
I don't think this conversation would make me actually throw up.
I think it fits you way better anyway.
Saying they did not put you in this game. I've known you too long and I haven't killed you yet. There's no way that you are Desahiko.
Did it work?
Did it work?
Of course it worked. He's as susceptible as like a lemming.
Yeah, I see. Now that you mention it, maybe you're right. I'm not that kind of guy, but I totally get that you'd see me that way. You know what? You're a good kid. Hey, let me know if the others pick on you. I'll come to your rescue.
Sure, thanks. Oh, I guess we sorted that out. But I wonder if I can really get along with him.
No.
Master, you and Tetsuhiko seem to have grown closer.
No. Just gotta look at that corpse before subjecting ourselves to further mental trauma. This is one of those great things about video games, I think. That, like, in real life, you'd never be able to do anything even remotely like this, but in a video game, you can just sort of stand here and contemplate your existing relationships with your friends while staring at the corpse and not making any progress while the police are trying to beat down the door at the other end of the rooftop. If he's taught us anything, we should be grateful for that missile. You're not wrong. I mean, I think it doesn't help that... I mean, Yakko's... He's not a good boss, but he's an interesting character. I do think that, like, Halara and Tetsuhiko are probably, like, the worst of the... How are we talking to Yakko?
Huh? Are you here alone, Chief?
I'm confused. Did I do something wrong?
Yeah, Halara and Tetsuhiko were here a bit ago. When I got here, they just up and left. I'm sure they're gambling again. Never mind them. Yuma?
Yes? What is it?
What do you think of Tetsuhiko?
Oh, I see. I understand what's happening. I get it. I see. I'm stupid. I'm slow. But yeah, I think Halara and Tetsuhiko are, like, the worst of the 5 characters, and Halara's like not a cool person to hang out with. She's an okay character for a video game, but like she kind of sucks, like as a person.
Hmm? Why do you ask?
No reason. I'm curious about what you think of him. It's no big deal or anything. I just want to know.
Why would you even wonder about it?
Don't sweat the details.
It'd be funny to me if he was doing the Tetsuhiko gesture.
Just tell me what you think of Tetsuhiko.
What I think of Tetsuhiko?
You know I'm saying this one. It might technically be the correct thing to say because I'm supposed to be calling Tetsuhiko out on a lie, but this is definitely the correct answer to say.
Honestly, I don't like him very much.
He's bad.
You're kidding! You gotta be joking, right?
That reaction, could it be? I'm joking, obviously. To tell you the truth.
Boo.
I think he's been a great mentor to me here at the agency.
Double boo.
He's easy to talk to, and he's considerate in subtle ways. He's rather kind-hearted, too.
And whoever made the character of Tetsuhiko wildly overestimates how much I like them.
Oh, I see. What else?
His reaction. Now I know for sure. You're Tetsuhiko, aren't you?
Huh? You knew? That's no fun at all.
I knew it.
You're pretty good at seeing through my disguise.
I wouldn't have known if you hadn't given yourself away. But why are you in disguise anyway?
Huh? You still don't realize it? I was testing you.
Testing?
That's a test to see if you're worthy of being my apprentice.
Oh, thank goodness I must have failed.
An apprentice? My master?
Concluding this impartial examination. Congratulations, you passed! Feel free to weep with joy. I'll be taking you under my wing.
Yeah, I feel like this conversation would be more interesting if we were able to say, like, I really don't like that guy. It's like, you're kidding. And we, like, double down and do one of those fast forwards that implies we talk for a really long time about how much we don't like Tetsuhiko. And then he turns back into Desahiko, and then we're like, oh, it was you, Desahiko. And then we just, like, continue saying, like, horrible things about him.
Huh? But I didn't... Why do you want me to be your apprentice?
There's only one reason.
Use knife
It'll
solve
make me
puzzle.
look more like a star. In fact, it's a requirement for stardom.
It is?
Yep, there's no mistake about it. Anyway, from here on out, I need you to work hard.
Tetsuhiko's apprentice. I don't get how that makes him look like a star, but I suppose it wouldn't be all that bad.
No, that sounds really bad.
It could be educational for me to learn from a detective firsthand. It might even help me remember my powers.
I mean, it could be educational to learn, like, what to absolutely definitely not do at all.
You actually want to do this?
All right, I don't mind being your apprentice, Tetsuhiko. It'll help me learn how to be a detective, too.
No, it'll learn you how not to be a detective, and then you just don't do that.
Huh? You thought I meant it as a detective thing?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I was gonna train you to become a star. Not the ABCs of being a detective, but how to ooze charisma and charm. Stuff like that.
Ooze does sound like, unfortunately, the correct, like, verb choice for this guy. Emote idea. Vasco use knife emote. There's some... I don't know exactly how it's enforced. I think there is some restriction to, like, demonstrating, like, weapons. I mean, I have, like, a sword emote. I think it's, like, you're not allowed to, like... Well, I don't know. Critwitch does just have a hand using a knife. I thought we were just, like, not supposed to be able to use, like, disembodied weapons or something. There's definitely, like, some stipulation of, like, you're not supposed to use weapons, but I don't know the full extent of, like, how it applies. Castle. Eric with knife. I don't know exactly what use knife would look like. I'd have to think about it.
Give it 6 months. With my training, you'll shine half as bright as me.
If that's the case, I think I'll pass.
Huh? You sure? You'll never get another chance like this.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, but I think it's too good for me.
Really? Yeah, okay, then.
Master, you and Tetsuhiko seem to have grown even closer.
Can't express how false that is. My words aren't powerful enough. Do we have one more of those? That's tiresome. Oh no, that was the last one we have currently. Let's do a Fubuki one. I bet she'll have at least one actually fun thing to say. That seems like her jam. Whereas other people are to be sexist or hostile, which are, you know, like less fun traits to have like a fun optional conversation regarding.
This is the first time we have been alone at the agency, Yuma.
Huh. Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. I know. How about I make you some coffee? Or would you prefer some tea instead?
Which is which again?
I don't even know how to answer that question.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
How to put this? One is dark and the other a bit pale. Which is coffee and which is tea again?
What?
That was a funny joke.
That was a funny joke.
Huh? did we just say something funny? In that case, please tell me what it was. I do not understand whatsoever.
Actually, it wasn't really that funny. Anyway, the darker one is coffee.
Oh, it is? Now that you mention it, that sounds right. However, this is quite troubling. There are far too many moments in my life where I cannot tell things apart. Just like with coffee and tea, I cannot tell the difference between an elevator and escalator, or left and right, or the day after tomorrow and the day before yesterday. I cannot differentiate many things.
Makes you a very good candidate to be a detective, I think.
That sounds rough.
Oh, there is more. Until recently, I thought paying reparations meant you were paying a repairman.
That's not correct.
That's a new one.
She's such an airhead. I'm surprised she's managed to survive for so long.
Fubuki, have your misunderstandings ever gotten you into trouble?
No, impossible.
Trouble. I suppose when all is said and done, I have managed fairly well. Oh, there was one thing.
Really? If you don't mind, can you tell me about it?
Yes, of course. Back when I was around 10 years old, in the neighborhood where my mansion is located, a rumor was spreading about a high school student who could fly. I hoped it was true and wished to meet him, so I went for a visit.
Like it says, first of all, she's so naive that people could call her dummy thick behind her back. I mean, you would hate to see that. You just wouldn't want to see that happen to someone.
However, he could not in truth fly, but was rather considered something called a flight risk.
At this point, it sounds like a comedy skit.
Oh, well, it gets worse. He was more than a mere delinquent. People considered him an extremist. Upon discovering I was the daughter of the Clockford family, he kidnapped me and barricaded us away.
I think we really buried the lead on this story.
Barricaded?
Yes. He demanded the government revise the Constitution if they wished me to be returned safely.
Anyway, why is barricaded the word he reacts to? The kidnapping is fine, but he barricaded him?
So, what happened after that?
It was quite a while back, so I cannot really remember. In the end, the laws were changed a bit, and I was released.
The laws were... what? It makes sense a master detective, or rather a member of the Clockford family, would have such ridiculous stories. Being unable to tell coffee and tea apart should have been the least of my worries.
Master, you and Fubuki seem to have grown closer.
Did we? I'm just kind of concerned now. I feel like literally the only time her saying that at the end of a conversation has made sense is when we talked about cats with Halara Nightmare.
Yikes forever. Yikes forever.
It's loading times, man. Job with Fubuki. I'm sure there won't be anything else traumatizing or upsetting up ahead. I'm sure it's all completely fine.
Yikes forever.
Thank you kindly for keeping me company today. Because of you, Yuma, I have experienced takoyaki for the very first time.
Oh, it's nothing. I'm surprised you wanted to try some in the first place.
Oh? Why is that surprising? Could it be that my face resembles takoyaki, so you believe I am a cannibal?
Dang, she got it in one. She's so intuitive. She's a great detective.
That's not at all what I'm saying. You don't look anything like takoyaki anyway. It's just that you grew up like a princess. You even got kidnapped because of it.
I will say I appreciate, like, the maybe confidence is the wrong word, but like the sort of enthusiasm with which she felt like the certainty that that was it. She's like very committed to that being a likely answer.
That's why I didn't expect you to want to try takoyaki.
Ah, so that is what you meant. But I am not as high class as you might think. My daily life is rather ordinary.
I sincerely doubt it.
Is that so? It truly felt plain to my eyes.
Well then, can I ask you a few questions? It helped me get an idea of what it was like for you growing up.
Very well, if that is what is required to satisfy you. You can ask me anything, including my measurements or the password to my bank account.
You should definitely not volunteer any of that. Please don't, especially don't talk to Fubuki. Just don't talk to people, okay?
No, I don't need to ask about those. Anyway, to start off, how many rooms did your home have?
How many rooms? I never really considered it. First the kitchens. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's a normal number.
I am beginning to grow confused. My apologies. I am not very good at counting such large numbers.
6 through 10 is a struggle. 11 plus is right out.
No, that's more than enough for me. There's really no point in asking any more questions, but this is getting kinda fun. Next up, what sort of car did your parents own?
Their car? Unfortunately, there were no cars at our home.
We had several limousines?
Huh? That's hard to believe. Do you know what cars are? They have
Do you
four
know what
wheels
cars
and move on
are?
roads.
I don't want to presume anything, but like, you know, cars? We're talking about the same thing, right? Cars?
Yes, I have seen them around the city, but none of those tiny, cute mobile huts were anywhere near my home.
Mobile huts? I'm guessing the cars at Fubuki's place are on a completely different scale. Okay, last one. What's the most expensive gift you've ever received?
A gift? Well, I am unsure how expensive it was, but the one that made me happiest was when I went with my family to look at the stars.
Huh? Stars?
On my birthday, my father told me a star would shine especially bright. I watched it with my mother and father. That time spent together was the greatest gift I have ever received. My parents are such busy people. I rarely saw them as a child. Oh? Is something wrong?
After asking so many petty questions, I feel real ashamed of myself. Even if you are rich, you're still you.
I am myself? That is true, I suppose.
It'd be sort of hard for that to be not
But
true.
Yuma, what sort of person do you think I am?
What do I think of Fubuki? Well, that's simple.
I'm gonna say the one that's not a secret insult. Because I like Fubuki.
You're honest. You may be rich and ditzy, among other things, but the foundation of who you are is your honesty.
Well, I am not sure I would say I am honest myself, but it makes me happy to hear you say it.
It'd be funny if she like put on a completely different voice and started like chain smoking in front of us like, I wouldn't say I'm honest, kid.
You're honest. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said the time spent stargazing with your parents was your favorite gift.
Yeah, she was willing to give her bank account password. It's a certain type of honesty for sure.
Oh, that reminds me. After we looked at the star, my father purchased it for me.
I somehow sensed that was coming.
I am unsure how expensive that may have been, but I am certain that is the biggest gift I have ever received.
Considering how honestly surprised I am by all this, I must have been a lowly commoner before losing my memories.
Master, you and Fubuki seem to have grown even closer.
Now, since we haven't had any cases with Vivia Twilight, I'm really not sure what type of dynamic to expect from this. We have talked to him a little bit. Seems to be a common theme. Do you mean our character growing closer with another character, Demolition? Does seem to keep coming up for some reason. Like this is, it's common for people to quote-unquote buy stars and name them, but it's a scam. Yeah, that always struck me as like a really easy con to do, because it's like pretty hard to like prove ownership and also like establish what ownership looks like or whatever. It's not too dissimilar from that. Isn't it like Scotland that's kind of famous for like you buy like a 1 square foot plot of land and then you become nobility or something? You become like a lord? Let's gab with Vivia. I think we have 2 Vivias, and then we've completed this task and have our stopping point, and that seems like it works out pretty okay. Astrological NFT. Lol. Oh man, Vivia looks like someday he wishes he would
Finally
die.
finished a bunch of chores. Maybe I should go make some coffee.
Which one's coffee again? Pardon?
Sorry. I had some soot in my nose.
I don't know how that could have happened.
Vivia, you were in there?
Yeah, I was here the whole time.
You could have at least said you were there. You scared me.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'll start doing that next time.
I don't mind, so please do.
Yuma, you're too kind. You never mind talking to me.
Yeah, I'll grant you that, Angel. It's a pretty genuine sneeze. To the point that it's almost alarming.
You know, I wonder why he always crawls into cramped spaces like that.
You find it calming in there, right? But wouldn't you be better off on a couch or bed?
If comfort level must be quantified in terms of the physical strain on your body, then yes. But this reminds me of something.
Reminds you of what?
The Jeep?
What do you think?
What Vivia remembers when he's inside the fireplace.
Someone attempting to burn him to death? Good memories, bad memories, memories about firewood. You know, I have to say, I'm pretty sure that the answer is good memories, but having established this pattern now that you should say the dumbest option every time, and then the game will tell you what the correct answer was, and there doesn't appear to be a penalty. Memories about firewood.
Your memories about firewood?
An interesting response. Do you think I also have psychometry to glimpse the past lives of items? Or perhaps you're trying to say I was firewood in a previous life?
It's a weird conclusion.
No. I guess that's the wrong answer. What does being inside the fireplace remind Vivia of? Is
very
it
Dora the
a
Explorer.
good memory?
It's like, the way that question is framed, like, it seems pointless to have wrong answers.
Yes, that's correct. When I was young, my parents would always discipline me by locking me in the storage room. When I'm in here, I can relive those memories.
No, I said like a good memory?
Huh? They don't sound like nice memories if you were locked in there. That seems pretty traumatic to me.
No, those are good memories for me.
Uh-oh. Someone's been Harry Pottering Eeyore over here, and I don't like it.
I have many brothers. We all yearned for our parents' love. So, no matter what shape or form it took, I was happy when my parents paid attention to me.
Ew.
I see.
I know. How about you join me, Yuma? Once you get used to the back pain, it's actually not so bad in here.
We still talking about sitting in the fireplace or like something else?
No, I think I'll pass.
Master, you and Vivia seem to have grown closer.
Is it because we're both in the fireplace now? Hurting our backs? The beast with hurt backs? Is that something? Shakespeare fans out there? Anyone? Let's get a penultimate look at that corpse. Looking forward to it. And this should be the last one. Ooh. Something about Vivia's posture is more concerning to me than I feel like it should be.
I'm starting to get used to being alone with Vivia.
Something about the phrasing makes these feel more, like, romantically charged than I think they're supposed to.
Knowing who he is, this silence isn't really so awkward anymore. We don't have to force a conversation to break the silence, which makes it easier to be around him than the others.
I want to die someday.
Huh? That's awfully sudden.
Is it? He says it like all the time. It's literally his catchphrase.
Oh. Did I think out loud again?
You sure did.
Sorry about that. Guess I surprised you. I'll be careful not to think out loud next time.
You're free to say what you want, but it sounds really concerning. And I've been wondering, what do you mean by someday?
What do you want to know?
Well, all people die eventually. I suppose I'm wondering if you want to die sooner. Saying someday makes it sound like you can't die. Wait, is that what it is? You can't die? That explained why you'd say something so strange.
Huh? He's undead?
That's a wonderful deduction.
I guess I'm wrong, though.
Well, I don't know about that.
We haven't tried yet, just like the comment from Halar earlier.
What do you mean?
Being unable to die sounds like it's straight out of a story. So romantic. Yuma, what would you do if you gained everlasting life?
Have like a lot of Klondike bars, probably.
What would I do if I lived forever?
I can't decide which of these would be the more interesting thing to say, nor can I figure out what I think is the correct answer. I almost think that can't think of anything in particular might be the air quotes correct answer. I would see the world 100 years from now. Welcome to the world of tomorrow!
I'd like to see the future. I want to know what the world would look like 100 years from now.
Yeah, these answers aren't, like, great. I don't know, like, talk to people all over Medium, I guess. See the future makes sense to me. That's, like, my real answer. We just, like, live differently. Knowing that, like, I didn't have to worry about, like, regular things causing me to die or whatever. I think I would just, like, just change my decision-making more than anything.
I see. I've considered that before myself. I'd like to see how the world looks when technology advances further. Just thinking about it excites me.
Yeah, I can't even picture what that would be like.
This is getting interesting. Anything else?
No, it's the only thing I would do if I lived forever.
If I had everlasting life, what would I want to do?
I would just sit quietly in a room until it was the future, go out, take a look, and then, I don't know, go back to my home planet.
I can't think of anything in particular.
That was quick.
Huh? Quick?
There is no end to human greed. Some people think that, but it's not true whatsoever. Everything comes to an end. Just like how you couldn't think of anything else you'd want.
I think I just meant I didn't have any good ideas right now.
Someday, greed will end. Just like you would die before your greed could be satiated. Humanity too has a lifespan.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
If you were to live forever, you'd see how tough life can be. It may be fun at the beginning, but eventually, I'm certain you wouldn't desire anything else. And once you were bored of everything, you'd reach the same conclusion all others would. That you hope to die someday. The moment you lose all desire, your final desire for death would be born.
Now, see, you say that, but there's like a whole episode of The Orville about this. And instead, they just get creative in finding new things to desire. And it's kind of messed up.
It all makes sense now, doesn't it?
Does it? But wait. Vivia, by that logic, doesn't your desire to die mean you're immortal?
No, by that logic, he just doesn't... He's not interested in anything else.
You're free to think what you want.
That's not an answer.
It's enough for today. I need to go back to my world of books.
Did he just give me the runaround? Or is he always like this? I can't tell. I wonder if I'll understand him better someday.
Esther, I have a sneaking suspicion that it feels like you and Vivia Twilight have become even closer.
Master, you and Vivia seem to have grown even closer.
What? Yeah, if I was immortal, maybe I'd go on the Amazing Race. Something I've talked about doing for like a really long time, but probably wouldn't realistically ever do. I know, how did I predict that the game was gonna do that? That's everything for now. It's weird that we have 3 with only Alara. Grand World. Secret Peak? Shh, Secret Peak. Anyway, I should probably save again just so that it remembers that I've had those conversations. I don't know if that matters for anything. I don't know. Turning to the title screen will result in unsaved progress being lost. I literally just saved. Well, I feel like that's about as successful as I could have hoped for that stream to be. And thank you. It's good to be here. It's getting cramped in that little box. It's starting to hurt my back as if I was sitting in a chimney for a really long time. Yeah, so again, the idea is we stopped the main story right before we started like properly investigating our next case so that we'll have the clues all together at the same time. I'm sure we'll still struggle to remember exactly something about something with the case thus far, such as it is. Weird case. But I think that's probably going to be like a pretty good spot to try and pick up from. In the meantime, over the next week, I have to sort of sort out what the Halloween schedule is going to be. It's always difficult to try and like figure out what will fit in the number of streams allotted for October. I'll tell you this, I tried doing some research on what fun Halloween-themed Krispy Kreme donuts there would be this year. And so far, I still have not found any definitive announcement in the US. I think I found one for the UK. And I have no reason to think that those will be the same as the US, because I think that they don't normally coincide. But yeah, tomorrow we'll play another installment of Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, and I think that we'll probably be playing that the following Saturday as well. But starting next Friday, we'll pick up with one of our Halloween games, and I'll try to sort out with Discord and my life what exactly we'll start with and what will go when and whatever. But yeah, I'm completely out of spoons, so somewhere on the couch behind me, I've hidden a Squirtle. I encourage you to try and locate it by, you know, indicating where you think it's hiding, whether it's like behind someone or under someone or just like where you think that's happening. If you can see a Squirtle like this guy, he's not a secret Squirtle, he's just a Squirtle. But I encourage you to look. I think that it might be an especially good time for good luck. That's the impression I get. When we see a return of the treat button. I mean, if there's a good treat, I don't know. I checked just like a couple days ago, and there's like absolutely no... Like, someone posted an article recently that was like talking about last year's Krispy Kreme Halloween donuts as if they were new. But like, it also specifically mentions that they're the 2022 donuts. I'm like, why are you reviewing last year's donuts? What an insane thing to do. I just don't understand how that's news. But, like, I don't know, I'm partial to the trick and the treat button. I don't know what the trick button will be yet. The treat button is obvious if we can find something good. Anyway, I see some good guesses. Any others? I encourage you to get them in quick, because I am out of patience for being productive. The candy corn's name is, like, Deli, I think. It's like D-E-L-I-E. I'll check when we check it. So what do we got? Under giraffe. Cool. Did you see they have Halloween squishes? Yeah, it's funny. Let's just say, I mean, this candy corn is dressed as a bat. It's probably a little hard to tell as she's situated on the couch there. But I've already alluded to the fact that there are some friends who maybe been waiting for October to start to maybe show up. Maybe I'm really excited about them. Let's go take a look. So, we got, Giraffe, Lorenzo, Candy Corn, Squidbeard. Yeah, alright, last year's donuts would be pretty stale. It'd be really funny if they kept them for a whole year to review them now, as news. So yeah, I got a couple questions about this candy corn. So let's start there. So this is my candy corn. She has bat wings. She's in a Halloween costume, and I love her very much. The tag name is Deli, D-E-L-I-E. I will say Cornelia is a really good name for a corn lady. I do like that. But like, yeah, she brings me much happiness because she has a good smile face and is a candy corn. I've been trying really hard to like squish her to be more bottom heavy, mostly just because then she'll be more candy corn shaped. It hasn't been working. I'm not smart enough for this. Yeah, the wings are very good. I mean, I think there's a normal candy corn one, which is probably pretty good, but like I really like little fidgety bits on my Squishmallows, which is why I like friends like Lorenzo. Lorenzo's pretty good. We got little Lorenzo, and we got big Lorenzo, and like Lorenzo's great because he's got these little feet. I like the feet very much, and then he's got big claw. But he's also just like a big lad. Like Lorenzo's really good, but then like little Lorenzo's great because he has all the same features, but he's like a little bitty guy. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I have Squidbeard and Banana Man have been locked in like deadly combat all stream long. Yeah. Oh, and of course, more classic Halloween Squishmallows. Giraffe Cat. This was from last year. I don't think this is technically a Halloween Squishmallow, which is kind of funny. Because, I mean, it's clearly a cat dressed up, but I think it was just like some weird animal mashup thing. But like, I mean, who doesn't love Giraffe Cat? Yeah, by the way, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's Squirtles all over the place. I'm glad I put the really tiny Squirtle under Squidbeard, because I thought because Squidbeard was busy battling Banana Man, no one was going to pick that. But I was like, no, I should put a really small Squirtle back there. Yeah, I don't know. I really had so little patience for decorating the couch. I was like, I'm just going to put all the Squirtles on there and work around it. And I actually liked how it came out. There's actually more Squirtles. I mean, you can see the little Halloween Squirtle. There's like 2 Squirtles under these guys. There's a Squirtle under the Pikachu and behind the Eevee. They're mostly everywhere. I have a lot of them now, which is good. I'm just really tired. But yeah, look at all them Squirtles. Congrats, everybody. They have a fox dressed as a pumpkin? I don't think I've seen fox dressed as a pumpkin. I saw the initial article I saw that tipped me off to the candy corn dressed as a bat, which is just really good. Also had one that was a bat that was like inside a jack-o'-lantern or something. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching Raincoat. I know this has been a weird stream. And thanks especially to those of you who adored all the ranting at the start of the stream. That was not Rafiq's finest hour. It's been a pretty bad day. We'll be back for some Ghost Trick tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about it. Next week will officially be October, and we'll do spooky things. Ghost Trick is sort of our bridge. We're going to finish that off. And then, you know, see what we can fit in before Halloween time. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. Whether that's for some Ghost Trick, or Halloween treats, or sometime in the future. In the meantime, there's one thing you must remember, and that is that you are clawsome.